really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Hey, motherfucker, what you like to do?
Oh, I don't know. Play chess. Screw.
Well, let's play chess.
They give off to Jonathan Taylor. Jump cutting his way. Close to the goal line. He's in there. Touchdown. I-N-D-Y. Jonathan Taylor.
Wheeler finds Quan from the window.
Here's Halliburton into the front court. Mishandled it, but gets a shot. Hits it. Hits it.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Anthony Richardson goes out of the gun. Two receivers to his right, looks that way, and fires upfield, and it is dropped, and I think intercepted by the Patriots, and they've got it at the 32-yard line. Richardson goes out of the gun. He's going to pass on a 5-step drop. He's got great protection. Now things break down. He's going to take off and run. 30, 25 outside the numbers. He'll scramble upfield to the 20, and he loses the football. Richardson on a quarterback sneak, looking to charge his way across the goal line. No signal yet. There it is. Touchdown, Anthony Richardson. Ball between the hash marks. He backs the throw. Here comes the late rush by the Colts, and they bring him down. It's a sack. Back to the 25-yard line. That's Caden Curry, among others, for the Colts. He's got the leg for it. Let's see if he's got the direction. Snap, placement, kick on its way. Headed downfield, headed for the uprights, and it is. It's good! Wow. From 61 yards. The Indianapolis Colts 13 and the New England Patriots 13.
There you go. Caleb's back at the station for the first time, I think, doing a road show of ours right here. This is on a Friday, and it is extra special because we have a crap ton going on, and that's how it should be on a Friday. Now, a couple of things before we get started. By the way, that's Matt Taylor and Charles Arbuckle of the Colts Radio Network. You heard that here last night, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan, and Country 97.1 Hank FM. Had the broadcast, and it ended in a tie. That doesn't really matter. And honestly, to me, there's not a lot to break down. But we're going to do our damnedest to do just that coming up here in just a bit. But I did want to start out the show by speaking to those, especially those in eastern and east central Indiana, Madison County, for example, Henry County, over even further east to Cambridge City, to Wayne County around Richmond, and the significant rainfall and flooding that you all are going through, and evidently with what we have witnessed this afternoon continue to go through. We are certainly thinking about you, and one of the great things and one of the great reasons why that I love being around here and love being from here is something that I have noticed in basically every news broadcast, every bit of information you see in social media. You see in these circumstances and these times the neighbors helping the neighbors through this. And even if the neighbors are going through the same thing. So we're thinking about you on a day like today. Like, it's tough for me to sit here and go, hey, come on out. We're having a hellacious Friday. I just know to all our friends that also listen to this show all the time and do the same things we like to do are dealing with so much more. And we are thinking about you on this afternoon. And if you have the opportunity to maybe get away from it for a moment, to put your mind at ease, this is your destination. The Pivot Bar and Balcony is your destination, but just know that we are thinking about those affected by just the incredible flooding situations. And, you know, it's almost like you just roll the dice and you find out where the rain is falling, and not every place is like that. Other places got nearly nothing. There is a lot of consistency in the rainfall right now, certainly for central Indiana. But we are thinking about you guys, certainly in East and East Central Indiana on a day like today. So 13-13 was the final. Couple of things I want to talk about before we bring Alex Lamonte's in here of Hurst and Lamonte's because we got a lot of stuff fever-wise to get to with the Wings of the Fever coming up later on tonight at Cambridge Fieldhouse. A special 5 o'clock hour set for you, too. And then we have a special announcement that Alex is going to make in the 4 o'clock hour as well coming up. But we are loaded, and we'll start with the Colts from last night. And I wish that it went more deep than just this, but things right now are really the way that they should be and the way that they're going to be at quarterback. So, I don't know, maybe one of these days, Anthony Richardson Sr. finds something a little bit different, finds a different level. But right now, I think that we exit that game last night, preseason game number 1, and focus in on the week of practice, the joint gatherings with Atlanta, and then the preseason game coming up a week from tomorrow, knowing that really everything to me was where it was in the first place. And not that the backup doesn't matter, because seemingly since the Manning era, the backup has mattered around here because the starter is always injury compromised, seemingly. And since the Manning era, that has definitely been the case. But as far as you look at the hierarchy at quarterback, I'm glad that Richardson Sr. had a nice night. Started out really rough, but had a nice night. That's great. Riley Leonard, not so much. But in the grand scheme of things, that's kind of how I look at it. It's going to be Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson Sr. and Riley Leonard. I don't know if it's going to be in that order because I don't know if last night actually dictated any terms on how Shane Steichen feels about the comparison of Richardson and Leonard and how he feels about the backup situation. I don't know if there was much impact there. There are just moments, and I'm far from any body language reader, and I'm not trying to be right here, but if you remember after that Richardson fumble, there was the moment with the head in the hands, and you just kind of wondered if that has been a constant in really how the coach feels about the situation in general. Now, I'm also here to suggest you don't have to run out and trade him. So I know you want him to play well just because you want him to play well. There's not going to be a one-dog controversy under center here, but you just want to see him play well for the sake of playing well because you want to see this team play well. And last night he certainly did. So I just don't know if I gather too much more than just that. I know that there are some people, they're like articles and columns that want to throw the dude a parade. I'm glad that he played better than what that first pass would describe. But at the same time, I don't think you need a parade. I don't think you need to throw a party, just like I didn't think you needed to throw a pity party when things weren't going well. That's just where you are. But the full concentration is someplace else. And it really wasn't a lot to do about last night at that position, really at any position. You look at kicker, for example, and you saw Spencer Schrader make up some ground on Blake Grupe, if that's how it's going at Drop Light up at Grand Park during camp. And we'll be up there next week for the first time to do a live show over the course of that gathering I mentioned, too. Those back-to-back dates with the Atlanta Falcons will be up there live coming up next week. But I don't know if there's, anything that you really take away from that either. Maybe Schrader is coming back, and that was the moment that he needed. He hit from 61. Grupe missed from 61. That would be, had this not been a preseason game, a franchise record, of course, for Schrader last night, breaking that of Grupe that actually counts from a year ago in Seattle with that 60-yarder. But I don't know how much takeaway that you have. You don't want there to be significant issues. I'll give you a couple of those. You don't want there to be a significant issue with Blackman and Edwards. Those guys played a hell of a lot of snaps in the secondary, and they were not only being used up, but they were being targeted in that game last night. And it's not like they were being targeted by, a guy like Drake May that had a 72% completion percentage last year in the NFL. They were targeted by Danny DeVito's long-lost son, Tommy DeVito. That wasn't great. That part wasn't great. Now, granted, you can say, well, it's going to come down to Charvarius Ward and Sauce Gardner. That's what's going to matter. But I'm just saying, a year ago, those guys had significant impressions and snap counts and participation in that defensive secondary. And if you're going to look at something problematic, that was problematic, the way that I felt. Yeah, running game-wise, I don't know what we gather from that. Maybe not very much. There were way too many turnovers and a lot of penalties. The turnovers, something that you kind of go, ugh. But, yeah, the penalties, that is a rite of passage early on in the preseason, in any preseason game. And I'm also very happy for Caden Curry. Last night, for Caden Curry was representative of how Caden Curry has had to prove himself and has proven himself on every level. I don't know what it's going to lead to. I hope that it's something found in a late round selection and it's hometown kid make good. He is a tremendous dude. I can tell you that from experience. And I hope the best. To me, he looked exactly last night as he looked whenever the guy has been on a football field. He is coming after some asses. And I don't know if it really matters who's on the other side. I don't know if it matters if it's Westfield asses or if it's Michigan asses or if it's New England Patriots asses. I don't think it really does matter. He just has that. You know, when they say, and this is also cliched and it can drive you nuts, is, he's got a great motor. Not everybody that they say has a great motor has a great motor. They all have to have some sort of motor or they wouldn't be at that level in the first place. But you can tell he's in the red all the time. He is pedal to the metal at all times. And I just thought that last night was a product of how that dude plays and how he has always played and how he will. Now, if you get matched up against ones or, guys that are starters along offensive lines in the NFL, maybe you're not going to have similar circumstances. Okay. But again, last night was a rung in a ladder in which he has been climbing since he was a little kid. And that's exactly what I have come to expect. And I think that everybody around CG that certainly knows him also expects that. I mean, Ohio State, he waited for his turn, and got busy last night. That was good to see him do what he did last night. In fact, we're going to go in further detail regarding Richardson and the usage. It's kind of funny. I don't know if this has ever been thought about. In fact, I will gather that it's never, ever been thought about. But during the Colts pregame huddle last night, Rick Venturi and I were having a conversation. He and Greg did a great job on TV, by the way, last night, too, on Fox 59. But we were having a conversation, and he brought up Taysom Hill of the Saints as some sort of extra usage for Anthony Richardson. Now, that all sounds good, and especially sounds good for you video gamers out there. I would argue that Tyler Warren is probably going to use up a lot of those gadgetry types of snaps, I would imagine. I would say this, though. I would maintain in what Rick talked about last night on the pregame huddle, you got to try to squeeze as much as you can. Seriously, in this type of season. So if you feel that you can trust that, then do it. I just don't think, and Rick had the answer last night. I said, do you seriously think that they consider that? Would Shane Steichen consider that? And he remarked they haven't so far, and it is doubtful. But I can't lie. I would be in on it if it were to help. If it were to squeeze a little bit more, whatever the case might be, running it, just utilizing it. I'm not above gadgetry, and we know that Shane Steichen's not above trying to trick somebody, too. That's one of his fortes. I just don't think he's ever thought about it. And the one thing that I believe he understands is his belief right now about Anthony Richardson Sr. is likely never going to change, no matter what took place on 11 of 14 and 145 last night, or any of that. Likely not going to change. But we'll see. We'll talk to Field Yates about that. Field Yates about some of these more important offensive players, certainly for the Colts, and then what he gathered last night watching the Colts and the Patriots in preseason game number 1. Field Yates is going to join us at the bottom of the hour. Joel A. Erickson regarding Brian Mason, the special teams coordinator. You saw him get rolled up on that final play. Multiple torn ligaments. You knew the way that dude reacted. He's an athlete. You knew the way that he reacted. That was bad news right there. Multiple torn ligaments. I'm telling you, if you're anywhere near this team, you kind of got to come in a suit of armor most of the time. No matter where you are. Seriously, if I'm Matt Taylor, I don't even go down to the field. I'm wearing a suit of armor. Anywhere around these dudes, and there is an injury waiting around the corner to attack. I like Brian a great deal. Shout out to Brian. I know he's from Zionsville, and here's to a fantastic recovery. He's probably going to be a badass and go out there and do what he normally does. All casted or all air casted up, whatever is going to happen. But multi-ligament damage, according to Joel, who joins us coming up at the top of the hour from the Indianapolis Star. And in the 5 o'clock hour, we're going to be visited by basically everybody. This was the idea of Debbie Antonelli, who I think is absolutely fantastic at breaking down basketball. Debbie, Pat Boylan, Kelsey Casper is going to be here. I think John Nolan's going to slide by. So basically everybody involved with the broadcast of Dallas and the Fever will all be in here coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Pivot Bar and Balcony, we are downtown, and you know this to be true, one of our favorite places. So the party starts right here, and we roll until 6. Dev is the on-site engineer. Mel McMahon is out here today making sure, promotionally speaking, we're good. We have stuff to give away. And Alex Lamontes of Hurst and Lamontes brings us to you, and we've got gas cards right here, correct? Crank Alex's mic right there. There you go. We have guest cards, right, Alex?
Yes, we do.
And you've got a special announcement you're going to make coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Give us a little bit of a tease regarding that announcement, please.
Well, you know what I'll say? I'll tell you this, John. It is all thanks to you and your listeners why this announcement is coming out, why we were able to do this.
I love it.
This.
I love it.
It's your very, very loud voice that everyone could hear.
And my headphones are turned up and cranked to that, too, because I can't hear. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Good combination.
But we really, really appreciate it, man. You guys have done fantastic work. We got the gas cards here.
Yes.
We've got a lot of really cool things we're giving away. Actual Yetis that were laser engraved by Pat Sullivan himself.
I love it. And Pat's going to be here a little bit later on, too.
Oh,
yes,
great. That's always a wonderful time.
He is going to be here, too. Actual lasered Yeti thermoses.
Yeah.
Is it thermoses?
Yeah.
We figured that out last time.
Yeah, well, they keep it
call
cold.
it thermi or thermoses.
Is that what they say in Greene County? Thermi?
Thermi.
Yeah.
Thermi is what we got right here. But, yeah, we got plenty of stuff to give away, including fever hats from us as well. I cannot wait to hear this announcement. This is going to do our hearts good, buddy.
Yeah. I had a question for you, though, about Richardson.
Yeah.
About Richardson. You said 11 of 14, 145 yards. He had 53 rushing yards. And a TD.
Yes.
But how do you balance that versus the 2 turnovers?
You say, hey, that's good. To me, he's exactly what he has been.
Yeah.
It is those moments in which you kind of go, oh, wow, here it is. And then the moments when thinking he couldn't play quarterback for nothing. And there, if there was any in between. And Rick Venturi said this last night as well during the pregame huddle. And I think he said it on the television broadcast last night too. After that really egregious first pass miss, those are the layups that you have to make.
Yeah.
And he's never been good at making the layups. He's occasionally good at making the deep ball. He just gives you reasons and flashes why you want to believe, but the proof is you can't trust it longer term. Now, I don't think it's the reason why you need to cut him. Hang around, and like I said, if you want to try to, as Rick Venturi talked about, gadgetize things, that would be great. The problem is, you just look at Shane Steichen, and it makes you wonder that to him it's a foregone conclusion what this situation is, and he likes who he likes regardless of what took place in both of those roles. And by the way, those quarterback roles will be reversed coming up next Saturday, the 1 o'clock start against the Atlanta Falcons. It will be Riley Leonard, who had some deer in the headlight moments, certainly last night. He'll start the game, and then Richardson Sr. will play in the second half. I can't lie, I did want to see Richardson come out there for that final play and throw it about 60 yards. I did want to see that. And it was unfortunate that Riley Leonard ended up going to the sideline and then rolled up as a part of that with Brian Mason and then the ligament damage. But I did want to see Richardson kind of air that one out. I thought maybe they would go there. Obviously, they did not. But we have a great announcement, and we've got all sorts of Feed Like the Fever, 5 o'clock hour. I love Debbie Antonelli. I'm such a huge Debbie Antonelli fan, and they're all going to be here in the 5 o'clock hour.
Oh, yeah. I'm really excited about it. You sent me that message telling me they were all going to be here. I mean, this is going to be a great, great show today.
Yes, it is.
Very, like you said, very, very packed show.
Packed it all in today. We have gas cards to give away. We've got Yetis. Pat Sullivan made Yetis. Pat Sullivan's going to join us coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, too. I mentioned Joel A. Erickson at the 4 o'clock hour, and Debbie and Pat Boylan and Casey Casper and I think John Nolan, whoever the hell else wants to mosey on over here from the field house. You are more than welcome to. But right now, to me, it appears to be Beer 30. Beer 30 yep. For me right here. Now, the lone thing that I'm a bummer, this is my favorite place right here. I love we are not on the balcony
right.
because Mother Nature's jacking with all of us a little bit, but we're not going to make light of it because we know some of you are going through just these life-changing moments. And we certainly understand that. But Mother Nature's jacking around with us right near in August. And I don't think we could trust it to go out there right now. But we love this place because it is right across Pennsylvania, literally from the field house. Perfect spot.
Yeah, absolutely. John, I do want to thank you for bringing awareness to what's going on over there in Eastern Indiana.
Yeah.
I think that's really great, especially you coming from rural Indiana just like that. I mean, I think it's important for people to see that. And then you were talking about Fox 59, and they actually have tons of information on their website about ways that people can donate and support those families that are struggling over there.
Yeah, and I hate to see just the incredible life struggle that so many people are going through, but it is also gratifying to see the neighbors helping the neighbors thing too, and that be under the spotlight and that being talked about, because that's one of the main reasons why I love this state and the state of Indiana, because that's what people do here. They step up, and they help, and certainly you can count on that. But again, our thoughts are going out to those in East Central and Eastern Indiana. Again, if you're talking, up in Pendleton and Madison County and Anderson, all the way over through Henry County and Cambridge City, even further east, and Wayne County to Richmond. We know basically every road that has a bridge on it between, Eastern Hancock County and probably Wayne County, I think is underwater right now.
Yeah.
So it is an incredibly difficult time, and we're thinking about you. Alex Lamontes, Hurston Lamontes brings us to you. This is the Pivot Balcony Bar. We have an incredibly special announcement coming up at the 4 o'clock hour. Joel A. Erickson at the 4 o'clock hour. More on the Colts with Joel there. Pat Sullivan Hardware and Garden, 4 o'clock hour. Basically, anybody that ever talks in front of a microphone, a television camera, will join us in the 5 o'clock hour regarding the fever here at Pivot Bar and Balcony. But coming up on the other side, Field Yates of ESPN. His thoughts on what I just brought up regarding the backup quarterback role and any other roles from Richardson, or learning anything more than what we already knew. And I just thought last night we learned what we already understood. It's not a bad thing, but that's just what we know. And I certainly believe that's how Shane Steichen believes this situation is right now, too. That and a lot of other things, including Daniel Jones' recovery, Alec Pierce coming back, Tyler Warren's usage, and defensively, kind of flip-flop from what is normalcy, too. Field Yates of ESPN. And, oh, by the way, Hoosier fans, the Heisman Trophy winner, your former quarterback, the national championship quarterback, had one hell of a, what I like to say from Greene County, debut last night. Did he not, with the Raiders? That was so Mendoza. He looked exactly like the IU quarterback. Calm, cool, collected, and poised, and spot on with throws. That's the Mendoza that everybody in IU Nation absolutely loved a year ago, and the reason, again, why he was the Heisman Trophy winner and a national champion. We'll get to that call coming up a little bit later on, too. Meantime, 317-239-1070. If you want to hit us up on the text line, you can do that as well. 239-1070. If you want to phone with your thoughts about last night, we'll take those as well. Alex and John, Pivot Bar and Balcony. We are downtown in Hyatt Place. We were looking for you. Plenty to give away, a special announcement. And on the other side, a breakdown of last night is Field Yates of ESPN. Going to join us coming up next. 93.5, 107.5, The Fan. Drains at 317-927-7186. Going through times like this where there's a lot of rain. Again, I talk about all the time, make sure that your drains are not compromised, are not clogged up, because if they are, that is so problematic. I mean, it's already having to deal with a lot of rainfall the way that it is wherever you live, but that can make things even worse. Make sure you're clog-free with the best in plumbing, LD Smith Plumbing and Drains at 317-927-7186. Lance and his local team, the absolute best to do just that. LD Smith Plumbing and Drains. Whatever your plumbing needs might be, that's your first call. 317-927-7186 online, ldsmithplumbing.com.
The Ride with JMV.
I don't understand a word you just said.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. Pivot Bar and Balcony, our location. Hyatt Place, right across from the field house. This reminder, too, you can sign up to win when you get here, too. Indiana Fever hats or a pair of tickets. Fever and the Sun, that is Friday, August the 28th, right across the street at Cambridge Fieldhouse with our good friends Hurst and Lamontes, and Alex is here, too. We need to wish a happy birthday to Vincent.
Yes.
Do we not?
Yeah, yes. Happy belated birthday.
Belated.
But still,
I saw
7 years old. Can you believe
well
that?
Done right there.
Yeah, so he's our third. We have 4 kids, so I know. What was I thinking? Yeah. Well, I wasn't really thinking.
Well, I know exactly what you were thinking. I think I've thought the same thing. I've been thinking the same deal. I exactly know what you're thinking right there. And we have a special announcement coming up at the 4 o'clock hour, too.
We do, absolutely. You were talking about community support and Hoosiers coming together in Eastern Indiana. And in the next half hour, we have a big announcement about how you and your JMV community supported us and kids all across Indiana.
Love you guys, and Alex returns with me coming up in a minute. Meantime, with the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline from ESPN, a little lowdown on last night, some fantasy hookup as well. And from ESPN, Field Yates joins us now. Hey, Field, thank you for the time. How are you?
We're doing great. Thanks so much for having me on. Hope you're having a great summer.
Well, the summer has been fantastic, and now it's amped up a little bit because we do have football back. I'm curious, did you have a chance to eyeball any of the Colts and Patriots last night, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, we call that the Will Mallory show, right? Yeah, good stuff last night from Will, obviously. And, a game that won't be remembered at, like, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, if I had to guess. Not too many ties that go down as memorable. But, I did have a chance to catch some of it. Saw some of Anthony Richardson, Will Mallory, as mentioned, and then a lot of missed field goals as well.
Yeah, and especially you kind of wonder if maybe one of these kickers from the Colts that gets cut ends up in Foxborough with Mike Vrabel.
In New England.
Yeah, you kind of wonder with Groupie or Schrader or whatever. Hey, what were your thoughts? And we've been around this for so long now, it almost wears us down a little bit. So we need a little bit of inside perspective, if you don't mind, outside perspective, if you don't mind, right here. What are your thoughts on Richardson in terms of what the Colts should do with him this season?
Yeah, I think the weird line that the Colts are having to straddle right now is that, quarterbacks do have value if they're on your roster. Depth can certainly be tested, and when you have a quarterback coming off of a torn Achilles, even one that's rehabbing as remarkably well as Daniel Jones is, you still have to be mindful of the pieces behind him. And you have your backup in Riley Leonard, but another player is only going into his second NFL season. You just don't want to give Anthony Richardson away. But if you're not getting any offers that are of consequence, the question is it more valuable to have a third-string quarterback, most likely, maybe a backup or third-string quarterback, who might not play at all, or a day 3 selection, which, day 3 picks have certainly become lots of things in the NFL, but they're far from a guarantee. And I do think there's a bit of a pride factor involved here. I understand that Chris Ballard and the Colts organization has moved on in many ways from Anthony Richardson. They signed Daniel Jones last year. They reinvested in Daniel Jones. I get that. At the same time, this was the front office that took him 4th overall a few years ago during a draft in which not everybody thought that Anthony Richardson would go that high. Some thought it could have been Will Levis, as an example, who would go 4th overall, or other players that were not quarterbacks could have gone 4th overall. So I think it's kind of a tricky spot here for the Colts that if they get an offer that's too good to refuse, do it. Until that point, as awkward as it may be, you do need the quarterback depth.
It's Field Yates of ESPN, ESPN.com, fantasy football analyst in general. It's kind enough to join us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. This is the Ride with JMV downtown at Pivot Balcony and Bar. More on that in just a second. But, Field, I'm curious. I went over this in the pregame show last night with analyst Rick Venturi, and he brought this up. And obviously there's no relatable here. That's not something that at least we understand or know that Shane Steichen has been thinking about doing, but would you try to concoct some really kind of offensively odd ideas, i.e. Taysom Hill, if Anthony Richardson is a part of this team moving forward this year? Would you try some different things offensively with him?
Yeah, I think with Anthony, like, again, we're way past the point of having drafted him 4th overall. Get it? It's over and done with. That's 3 years ago or 4 years ago now. It's a sunk cost of a draft investment. But we've reached the point where you don't have to focus exclusively on the stuff you can't do, right? Like, not the most accurate passer, obviously. Not a timing and rhythm thrower, obviously. But let's see what we can do to tap into some of the unique abilities. I mean, he is on the short list, at least, of greatest quarterback athletes we've ever seen, right? I mean, that's based off the combine testing. He has put himself into that zip code. And maybe you can find ways to tap into that. You know, he had the short yardage run last night. I still believe that Anthony can be amongst the best goal line rushers in the league. And, you know, Jonathan Taylor is all that and more as well. So maybe in a different circumstance, you wouldn't need to tap into Anthony Richardson, or you would need to tap into Anthony Richardson. So perhaps the coach is a little more hesitant there. But if he's on the roster, you might as well do yourself a service and see what utility you can get out of him. Even if it's not much, it's better than him simply watching every single game from the bench.
Field Yates joins us. So Daniel Jones on the rebound from that injury. We'll start right here. Does it surprise you that he's making, at least from what we've been told and what we have seen, so much progress? And then how would you factor in what to expect considering how good he was up until the point a year ago when he was compromised and done due to injury?
Yeah, Daniel, what a remarkable rehab process so far. You know, he certainly seems like he is, you know, more than ahead of a typical schedule. He's way ahead of a typical schedule. I think Daniel was in some ways reflective of how I think this Colts team is a bit of a pendulum team in 2026. What I mean by that is there's sort of two sides to it, right? The good version of Daniel Jones throughout his career has been really good. I mean, he took a Giants team to the playoffs. He outdueled Kirk Cousins. In that game, they beat the Vikings. This was a few years ago, of course. And then last year, he was playing like a playoff quarterback for much of the first half of the season, and then he got hurt. It wasn't quite as perfect in the games leading up to it. Still, he was playing really good ball, good enough to help you win a lot of meaningful games. So, but the Colts have several players that, like, the best version of them can be really good. The worst version can be a problem. And this team, it's not a house of cards, not the right term, but I could see this team competing for the playoffs once again. I could also see this team finishing third in this division, right? That would be not surprising to any of us because it happened last year. So it's a big year. It's a pressure cooker, perhaps. I would say that any time a team makes an announcement at the end of the season to say that they are keeping the head coach and the GM, it means the year ahead is a pressure year, right? So Daniel Jones and this entire Colts franchise, I do believe, faced some pressure this year, just given all the circumstances of what took place last year and over the past 6 or 7 years.
And I know, Field, you at ESPN, when you compile all these fantasy football numbers as well, you kind of view as what you saw last time he was on the field, but also you compile that with what has been historically his past or what has been the connection to it. Would you expect him to have a season this year, if healthy, as he had until he was injured a year ago, or would there seem to be a bit of a decline? How would you view him through, I guess, the lens in this case of fantasy football numbers?
Yeah, the fantasy football outlook is Daniel Jones obviously has a lot of upside. He was really good last year, especially in the first half of the season. The question mark on Daniel is when you're coming back from an Achilles tear, a big part of Daniel's fantasy value is tied to his legs. And is the team going to be judicious with Daniel Jones, given the fact that he's coming off of one of the most significant injuries that we see relatively frequently around the NFL? So Daniel Jones can certainly be a very, very solid fantasy football quarterback. He is quarterback 17 for me in my rankings because I am accounting for the possibility of him not being as lethal as a runner as he was at times last season. And I think that would be prudent by the Colts. It would not be a demerit of Daniel Jones in real football. It would just be a reality of a guy this closely removed. December 7th, I believe it was, when he popped his Achilles, and this Colts season kind of went by the wayside from there.
Field, Jonathan Taylor got that 2-year extension. What's your fantasy football expertise tell you about the Colts running back going into this year?
Yeah, 4th-ranked running back for me, Jonathan Taylor. I believe is the betting favorite to lead the NFL in rushing yards this season. Is just a remarkable, remarkable talent. If we don't see as much of Daniel Jones running, it's good things for Jonathan Taylor's fantasy value because it means more opportunities for Jonathan Taylor, right? Specifically at the goal line, where he's already going to be led the NFL in rushing touchdowns last season. A good bet to do that any year. But the possibility of getting to 20 rushing touchdowns is greater for Jonathan Taylor than probably any running back in the NFL, maybe alongside Derrick Henry or somebody like that. So my fourth-ranked running back, I'd be surprised if he went much lower than 7th or 8th overall in most fantasy football drafts. And a guy that, remember there was agony over whether to extend him the first time around. And here we are, and he has already been extended once again. So he's just been, a hallmark player for the Colts since being drafted.
Field Yates of ESPN joins us. We have seen a rebirth of sorts of value at the running back position. And now it's more reflective, as it always has been, in terms of the world of fantasy football. But in the actual NFL world, why have we seen that positional rejuvenation here recently?
Yeah, I think it's probably a couple of factors. Is one, the numbers are obviously going to go up because the salary cap is going up. The larger the salary cap, the larger the salaries. I also think we're in just this really unique period with some great players at running back, right? Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, 3 guys who not only are, can be peak of their powers right now, but also guys who, like, prime may not be reached yet for them. Jonathan's a little bit older than those 2 guys, so maybe Jonathan is in the prime of his career. But it's kind of a timing thing right now. So we've got some really good backs, and we may have another one as a rookie, and Jeremiah Love, who made his preseason debut last night. I think also teams are starting to realize a little bit of, I get it, this is what history has told us we aren't supposed to do. But some of the best movers and most successful stories in the NFL have been the people that have been ahead of curves. And I'm not saying that paying running backs top of the market is definitely ahead of the curve, but it could be, hey, people are telling us to zig, and that's when we zag. So teams are saying, I'll pay a great running back, and I'll find some value elsewhere. So things tend to be cyclical in the NFL. Perhaps this is the start of a new cycle. Running backs are appreciated.
This is Field Yates of ESPN talking NFL and NFL fantasy football as well. He joins us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. This is The Ride with JMV downtown across from Cambridge Fieldhouse Fever. Coming up later on tonight, we'll get into that in just a second too. So Alec Pierce, new big deal wide receiver coming back from a surgery, and Tyler Warren, your number 2 at tight end. What is the fantasy value and your thoughts on the type of season you expect from both of those Colts players?
Yeah, Alec's a really interesting one because the contract that he signed with the Colts this offseason was what most free agent contracts are at their core, which is a bet on what the player is going to become. But to be clear, Alec's sample size and body of work is lesser than most receivers that are getting paid, around where he ranks in average per year pay, right? People have had some sticker shock when they saw that number. Up to this point in fantasy, he hasn't been a top 40 player at the position of wide receiver. Could he get there this year? Absolutely, he could if he's healthy. But there are some question marks surrounding his health, and then also the way in which Alec has been used. He's been more of a downfield vertical threat, which in fantasy, the best version of that is like a Mike Evans type player, but also requires excellent efficiency. We'll see whether Alec brings that to the table. No complaints, no worries whatsoever about Tyler Warren. He's going to be incredibly busy. He's an excellent tight end. And given all the injuries at pass catcher right now for the Colts, shouldn't surprise anybody if he challenges for 130 or so targets this year.
When we should factor this in, the question I asked a little bit earlier about Anthony Richardson's senior field, about gadgetry offensively with Shane Steichen, that may all be used up by Tyler Warren at this point. Yeah.
A lefty quarterback from Mechanicsville, Pennsylvania, who's got some serious game to him. Yeah, I think that's totally fair. Tyler is such a unique player. I think I said Pennsylvania. I believe it's Virginia is Tyler's home state. I apologize for that. But yeah, that's totally fair. Is that he's going to see some rushes this year, perhaps some stuff at the bottom, at the goal line. So Tyler is such a talented player, the kind of guy that you can really build, a significant portion of your passing game around. He's a special player.
ESPN's Field Yates joins us. Give us some fantasy football 2026 risers, in your opinion.
Ooh, risers. Well, we talked. Alec Pierce is the kind of guy that has a chance to become a riser. But some of the players that I like this year, Emeka Egbuka from the Buccaneers, stepping into a clear-cut wide receiver one role for them. Colston Loveland from Chicago Bears, he and Tyler Warren kind of vying to be the next tight end to crack that all-pro ranking. It's, Brock Bowers and Tyler and Trey McBride have kind of a grip on that, or have over the past couple of seasons, with George Kittle mixed in there as well. And then Justin Herbert's a guy that I think is due for a big bump. Justin plays in this system run by Mike McDaniel, and Mike McDaniel was able to make Tua Tagovailoa the NFL's leading passer. I think Justin Herbert's a more talented player than Tua, and I'm excited about what it's going to look like once we get to the regular season for the Chargers.
Those on the decline out there, a couple of highlights for people maybe to sidestep if possible.
A guy like DK Metcalf is one that gives me a lot of, pause. He's just, with DK, he's so talented, but he relies on efficiency down the field. And his quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, had one of the shortest average depth of targets among starting QBs last year. Aaron just wants to kind of dink and dunk his way down the field as opposed to threaten you really far down the field.
Draft strategy for folks out there this particular year. I don't know if it changes. It always seems like it's the same for me, but does it change for you, and should it change for those out there participating?
Well, what I would tell you, let me give you just two simple rules that will apply until the end of time, most likely. One is you got to play the draft room. It's not different than the NFL draft in that regard, right? Unless you're picking first overall, you don't really know exactly what's going to happen. So play the draft room, right? Second rule of thumb is it's just you're going to reach a point during the season where running backs just aren't going to be in stock. And so get them when you can. If you're trying to break a tie between two players, if you're closely ranked, one's a running back, one's a wide receiver, grab the running back.
Hey, Field, in closing here, I'm going to ask you something really odd. It's about defense, and it pertains to the Colts. The value of a defense like the Colts are built right now until further notice, where they're back-end heavy, meaning they rely on Sauce Gardner, on Charvarius Ward, on Cam Bonham as their playmakers in the secondary, and not so much a belief in a lot of frequency getting after the quarterback. Can that be more or less of that? How do you view that in terms of the world of fantasy? Because you got playmaking ability and you got talented players in the secondary, but is that something you sidestep considering what we don't know about Leatu Latu and Arden Key coming off the edge?
Yeah, what I would say is that for fantasy, if I'm going to draft a defense, it's going to be the one that's more likely to pile up a ton of sacks. Turnovers and touchdown scored off of turnovers are impossible to predict. So I tend to lean towards the defenses like maybe the Denver Broncos, the Houston Texans that are going to pile up 9,000 sacks during the season.
Makes a lot of sense right there. Field Yates, when can we catch you again? I think you're all over the TV. Every time I'm talking in the afternoon, you're like looking right across from me on the television monitor. When you guys go?
Sports Center today, and then Monday morning, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time, Fantasy Focus. So we have a lot of fun there.
Field, it's always great to talk with you, man. Thanks for dropping in. We'll do it again here in Indianapolis if you want to over the course of the season too, pal.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
You got a Field Yates right there, the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Really good stuff regarding the Colts and the Patriots last night. Some of the more interesting players, noted players of the Colts, and how that also could pertain to your fantasy football draft. You got a little bit of everything right there. This show, you get a little bit of everything, and we're going to have a lot of Fever folks coming up here in the 5 o'clock hour. I know Debbie's going to be here. Pat's going to be here. I heard John Nolan's going to stop by. We're going to have all that and then some with you. The Pivot Bar and Balcony. Love this place, but looking for you with stuff to give away and a whole lot more, meaning do not go anywhere. And if you go someplace, haul ass down here and join us live at the Pivot Bar and Balcony, Hyatt Place, downtown Indy. It's only going to get better. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Hey, John here for the District Tap. 2 locations, Clearwater Crossing, downtown Indy. Post up there. Damn good food, happy hour specials, live music, too, to make sure you are incredibly entertained And Sammy on the north side, too. Your bartender and your server will help you out, too. Again, if you're going out for a destination location, especially on the weekend with the live music, the District Tab. 2 locations, downtown and Clearwater Crossing on the north side. To find out more, thedistricttab.com. Right now, hey, John here for Sundown Gardens. Sundown Gardens and Miss M's home in Garden. That is in Westfield and down in Bargersville as well. Hey, grab a duck and save a buck sale. That is what's going on right now at both locations, too. And you might want to ask, what does that entail? Well, you come in to the retail garden shop. You do that at either location. 10 to 50% off retail purchases, labor not included. Shop the garden center, and you're going to find at checkout the opportunity to pick a duck out of a pool. 10 to 50% off your purchase when you grab a duck and save a buck at Sundown Gardens and Miss M's Home and Garden. What a great way to take advantage and get great deals. Again, 10 to 50% in savings at Sundown Gardens. 186 in Spring Mill Road in Westfield, sundown.gardens.com, and Miss M's Home and Garden. State Road 135 just south of Whiteland Road in Bargersville, msmshomeandgarden.com.
The Ride with JMV.
Are you kidding?
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
I see you on YouTube, by the way. We're at Pivot Bar and Balcony. I'm going to make a quick announcement. Can you guys all hear me out there loud and clear? There's zero way I'm going to pronounce this last name right because I'm just not smart. Deb Mashmeyer. Hey, Deb, would you like to mosey on up here and win a hat? I've got a hat for Deb right here. Deb has just won a hat. Hurst and Lamonte is with us. Right. How would you like that? Did I get that last name right? I was pretty close. I don't have the smarts real good, but I was pretty close. Right. Well, that's a damn good thing that's the case. Thank you. Great to meet you, Deb. Thank you very much. We got more to give away here, including tickets. We got a bail. Alex going to return on the other side more. The 13-13 tie and takeaways from last night's Colts preseason opener on the road in Foxborough. And we've got the Wings and the Fever tonight, too. The entire Fever broadcast team, for the most part, will be here in the 5 o'clock hour. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. Alex Lamontes has got an incredible announcement to make coming up at the 4 o'clock hour. Joel A. Erickson also on the other side. Don't go anywhere. It's 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Hey, John here. Hey, you're going to love this, Caleb. Deb just asked me if I'm the Paul Allen of Indy. You know Paul Allen from the Vikings?
Yeah.
Caleb, you know who that is?
Yeah, I do.
You know how much cooler I am than Paul Allen,
You
though?
are.
My God. Holy crap, I'm so much cooler than that. Hey! Here's what I want to remind you of. Speaking of cool water in your home, the best water in your home, that's Connecticut Water Systems. Connecticut.com. Get Joe in there to test your water. If you don't have Connecticut, simply put, you do not have the best water possible. And I want you with the best water possible with Connecticut. Get your water tested absolutely free, and then they find out exactly what they can do for you at Connecticut. Connecticut Water Systems, as they put together something that is specific for your home water needs. Contact Joe. Get signed up today. That's Connecticut.com.
The Ride with JMV.
You guys can stick that too. Seriously. You guys want to stick that? Stick that one where the sun don't shine.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Welcome back to the Pivot Bar and Balcony. That is our location on this Friday with Hurst and Lamontes. Alex joins us, and we've got a special announcement coming up here in just a bit. Pat Sullivan Hardware and Garden. Bottom of the hour, we have Yeti Thermos, or as we pronounce that in Greene County, Thermi. That means plural, to give away while we're here. We have a special announcement. We have a couple here, 50th anniversary we'll get to a little bit later on from Idaho. So we'll get into that, too. We got coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, basically anybody in front of a microphone or a camera involved with the fever will be here coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. That is outstanding. Before I get to Joel A. Erickson of the Star, I did want to present this to you. So all of you people out there that ever think that you can beat me in basketball, tomorrow's your opportunity at the Indiana State Fair. From 11 until 1, I'm going to be at the courts out there. And I don't even know who the hell's playing. I don't even know. When these scrubs, stop down for a minute, like halftime or something, because they need some oxygen, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to shoot free throws against all of you guys. And we're going to give away State Fair passes. We're going to give away wristbands as well for the Midway. So you guys can shoot against me coming up tomorrow, 11 till 1 at the Indiana State Fair. And I will tell you this, my sights are bent right now. So you have a chance. I am in a funk. It's like lighting off a bottle rocket. I don't have the damnedest idea where it's going most of the time. So you guys have a chance, unless I sleep on this or get a little extra happy, if you know what I mean, coming up later on tonight and have a feel good tomorrow morning. It is my jumper's problematic right now, so you have a little bit of an opportunity. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to elicit the help and the advice of Debbie Antonelli coming up here in the 5 o'clock hour. But the sights are definitely bent. We'll see what you can do. 11 until 1. Anybody can come and sign up tomorrow, and I'll be out there 11 until 1 at the State Fair, and we'll have a blast. And then you can talk some junk to me if you end up beating me. Now, fat chance that happens even with my sights bent, but you can give that the try and maybe win some things as well. Meantime, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, 13-13 was the final last night, and joining us to describe that and more, he was there in Foxborough at Gillette. Joel A. Erickson of the Star, that's going to be a staple every Friday during the football season, who joins us now. Hello, Joe. How are you?
I am.
Uh-oh. We've got a little bit of problematic sound right there. Caleb, are we okay?
Let me work
because
on
I heard
it
me
quick.
twice.
Hold on.
That's okay. We heard myself twice, and once is certainly enough, let me tell you. Once is enough. Hey, by the way, Mel McMahon just wrote down the basketball courts north side of the fairgrounds coming up tomorrow. 11 until 1, shooting against me. Joel, are you back now without hearing ourselves twice in this conversation here, buddy?
Yeah, I can only hear myself once now. That's important.
Yeah. See, the last thing we want to do, we barely want to hear me like once, all right? So last thing we need to do is hear me twice on this. I want to start with you on Brian Mason. Multi-torn ligaments. It sounds like it is as bad as it looked. Is that true?
Yeah. From my understanding, it's as bad as it looked. I don't have a ton of other details on when he's going to be back or what that looks like or anything. I just know multiple torn ligaments. Anytime there's more than one, that's a pretty bad knee injury. But I'm always kind of surprised this doesn't happen more often on the sidelines. You know, you think about, they got to get out of the way, but there's not always a ton of room back there. They're standing in front of players and stuff, and he did try to move and just kind of got caught up in it. It's surprising to me that this happens as infrequently as it does in the NFL.
No, I completely agree with that, too. Was it just me? I wondered why Anthony Richardson Sr. didn't throw that last ball, just for the hell of it. Were you wondering, too?
No. At that last by the time we got to the last play there, I was like, let's get out of here.
Well, I mean, I was just thinking, Joel, hell, while we're here, let's see this dude air it out and see what the hell happens. Because I didn't think that Riley probably had it in him, but I thought that Richardson Sr. probably had the arm strength in him for that.
I kind of wanted them to send Spencer Schrader back out for a 70-yarder and see what happened.
Oh, yeah. You're going to try to do that up to my groupie guy, huh? I'm a groupie right here.
He hit that 61-yarder so good. I thought, let's just see what happens.
See, part of my problem is, and I had Blake on the show last week, and I said, hey, last time I had a kicker on this show was Matt Gay, and I think we all saw how that ended. Are you sure you want to be here? And he said yes. And then since that point in time, he was perfect at that moment, but since then, not so much, Joel.
Did you see what Vrabel said after the game last night? No matter who wins this job for the Colts, I think the other kicker is going to have a job somewhere because the Patriots kicker missed 3 times, and even if it's not them, there's other kicking competitions that are pretty bad, and these two guys, have track records, and then Schrader kicks that ball. Schrader's starting to kick it the way I'm used to seeing him kick it. So I think that no matter what happens, both of those guys are going to end up with a job.
I said last night that the guy that doesn't make the Colts is going to end up in Foxborough. And that's a great way to put it right there, too, because you're right there in front of Vrabel's face. And that dude last night wasn't going to have it, and it did not look endearing on the sideline when they showed Vrabel after those misses.
When I covered the Saints, there was a training camp that we covered, a kicking competition, and got to the end of it, thought they declared a winner, and then they cut both of them. And because they had been in joint practices with the Ravens, and they liked what they saw out of Will Lutz and what they heard from John Harbaugh about Will Lutz, and so they just went with the guy that they'd seen in joint practices. And if Andy Borregales continues to struggle in New England, it sure feels like Mike Vrabel was watching the way the ball came off of Groupie and Schrader's foot and was like, I feel like we got some options right here.
Yeah, and no doubt about that. Joel A. Erickson of the Stars on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. What are your takeaways from last night, whether it's, quarterback backup battles or positional situations or kickers or, running backs, whatever. Did anything strike you more interesting than other thoughts coming off of last night's preseason game 1?
I thought at backup quarterback and then at kicker, where we're talking about it, I thought that those two races were heading in one direction, and then last night kind of flipped it back on its head a little bit and made it a little more open. Spencer Schrader had been struggling, admittedly, with pulling the ball left. This week, with the joint practices, with the game, he started to look a little bit more like himself, and they've said all along those preseason games are going to matter the most. They said the same thing with the quarterback competition, and I know he had the fumble. I know the ball was a little bit not well placed on the interception, but I still put most of that on Coleman Owen not catching it. But Anthony Richardson looked really good. I think that's the best he's looked in training camp the entire time. And Riley Leonard, by his own admission, struggled. 2 days after looking really good in the practice. So I thought that two position battles that we've been watching, and it felt like we had clear leaders in, maybe kind of got flipped on their head a little bit.
Joel A. Erickson of the Star is with us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So Rick Venturi brought this up to me on the Colts pregame huddle last night, talking about would like to see Taysom Hill type of usage of Anthony Richardson. And then, also brought up the fact that has never been a play that Shane Steichen has made. I guess what I'm asking here, are you surprised? Is that something they should do, or they should look at if Richardson is going to be here, what the hell? Or does it come down to if they're going to do gadgetry, it's probably going to involve Tyler Warren?
Having been there when they started the Taysom Hill stuff in New Orleans, I think I'm always open to that idea. I'm always open to the idea of moving somebody talented around the formation. We saw last night, Richardson still looks pretty darn good on the hoof, and he's out there in the open field. I do think you worry a little bit more than you did with Taysom about the injury, not because Taysom Hill wasn't injury prone. He had his own injuries, but just because of the backup situation. But if you like Riley Leonard and you've got all three of these guys here together, why not? Why not use it why not use Richardson as a curveball for teams? And that, you could do that stuff with Tyler Warren too, and it doesn't exclude it from happening.
Would you feel that that's something that Shane Steichen has ever thought about or would ever consider? Because for me, it's something that he hasn't and won't.
I think he'll look for any way to do it. I don't know the dynamics of, is Richardson open to it? Is he? Because the other thing is that, with the whole way Taysom Hill got started, his first playing time in New Orleans was not as a quarterback; it was as a special teamer. So he was coming from the other side of things, just looking for any way to get on the field. Richardson was a starter. Richardson obviously still wants an opportunity. I have no idea if he'd be open to it or not, but I'd be interested. And I think Shane Steichen is generally open to, whatever will work.
It's Jolie Erickson of the Star with us. So I'm assuming every Friday? Are you good with that? Now, does that mean you're going to show up at some of our locations, or are you still a little bit afraid of that sometimes?
I think I've generally showed up at least once a season here. I'll do my best, but we know I have three boys and they got stuff going on. And I got to get them to places.
Well, I mean, you could just let Brian Kelly can babysit everybody. What the hell?
I'll let Brian know that you've given me permission to just drop the kids off at his house.
Yeah, and he'll feel good about that. Hey, coming off of last night, besides the special teams coordinator, any other injuries of note? And then let's look ahead really quickly to the joint practices with the Falcons and then preseason game 2 coming up next Saturday.
Jalen Jones was evaluated for a concussion. I don't have they didn't say that he was cleared the way they did with Hunter Wohler. So that's really the biggest injury that we know of coming off of it. The other one, Anthony Gould I'm not sure if he dressed or not. He didn't really play much. If he did, I'm kind of curious to see if he's practicing when we get back on Saturday. And then next week with the Falcons, I think this is going to be another good test for some of this cornerback depth that we saw really struggle this week in New England. Mekhi Blackman, Jonathan Edwards, both really struggled. And those guys are not the first one on the depth chart. The first one on the depth chart is Cam Taylor-Britt if somebody's hurt. But Charvarius Ward's hurt right now with a back injury. And so you're already into Taylor-Britt. And I think we saw last season that sometimes those 5 and 6 guys play. They'd look good in Colts camp, but the Colts do not have the receiver depth that tests them as much as the New England Patriots do. And I think the Falcons, with Drake London and some of their people, can test them in similar ways.
Jolie Erickson of the Star, he's going to be a staple right here every Friday, and sometimes maybe out with us drinking. Other times maybe he's got family responsibilities, but he's going to be around, and we love it a great deal. And we have similar thoughts regarding Blackman and Edwards. They played a lot of snaps in that secondary a year ago, and they got targeted and worked last night by Danny DeVito's son, so that's not great.
Yeah, it didn't look great. Hopefully when I'm on every Friday, it won't be in an airport. Hopefully this is the only airport we have this time.
Hey, did Caden Curry, you think Caden Curry made the team with a performance last night or well on his way to making that team? Because, I know he may have been playing against dudes that's going to be selling insurance coming up in a month or so, but speaking of working guys, he worked dudes last night.
So not only the defense, the other interesting thing with Caden Curry was that he was out there on special teams on the first kickoff return that was out there. If Brian Mason likes him as a special teamer, that'll go a long way towards Caden Curry making the roster.
He is, and we know this to be true. It doesn't matter if he's playing against Westfield or against Michigan. He's a badass dude right there, and that's exactly what I expected. And anybody that's ever watched him around CG, they also expected that, but it was great to see that for sure. All right. Hey, whenever we're live, you got to join us. Now, I understand that family concerns sometimes intervene, but hey, you got to keep in mind, guys, I'm a bad influence, so understand that. Okay, Joel, I try.
I know you might get me. You might get me from the. I might have to do this for the Indiana State Fair next week, depending on how everything goes.
Oh, yes. Can you imagine some of these bars and places we're going to be in the fall too, Joel? Just I'm going to get you prepared, okay?
Okay. I'm listening.
Right.
I'm listening.
I appreciate you, pal. Thank you.
You bet.
Joel A. Erickson of the Star on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Hey, Alex, let's go ahead and do this right now, too. We got to by the way, too, let me reset. We're at Pivot Bar and Balcony. We're right across Pennsylvania from Cambridge Fieldhouse. So Alex Lamontes is here. Hurston Lamontes, of course. We've been doing all these shows all summer long. And Julie Rolash is here, Executive Vice President of External Relations and Community Engagement. And former Hooper, is this true?
Yeah, a long time ago, but yes.
You are incredibly tall.
Well, thank you. And I actually played one-on-one on my driveway last night, so maybe I'm still current. Does that count?
Do you still play often?
Only when my daughters ask, and that's a quick yes.
Are your daughters pretty talented?
Well, they like to play. Well,
how old, can I ask? I'm getting really personal here, but I'm just interested.
Yeah, we've got an 8th grader and a junior in high school, and they're both Hoopers.
Where do we go to school? Can we say?
Sure. Yeah, they're in the Carmel school system.
Oh, so is one Jessie D'Armelio their coach?
Oh, she's fantastic.
Jessie D'Armelio
Coach
is
Jess.
a really good friend of mine.
Yes.
And I love Jessie D'Armelio.
A breath of fresh air. She's just her 2nd year at Carmel, and she's fantastic. And a Fever fan. I think she's coming to the game tonight.
I've known her since she's 8. And her dad and I are really good friends, but her dad and I have played basketball consistently for the past 25, almost 30 years.
Yes.
So we all play about 3 and 4 days a week still.
Wow, that's great.
And Jess is going to do really good things at Carmel with girls basketball.
And she sees the whole picture. I mean, she cares about them not just as players but as people. My junior just loves her.
It's funny, the dynamic, and you would know this as a former Hooper too, the dynamic between being hardcore and understanding, sometimes is a gray area.
It's a fine line.
And you can find out who are exceptional at doing it, and she's exceptional at doing that.
I think, you can't fool a kid, right? They know if you care about them, and I think she genuinely cares.
Now, what did you play collegially?
I played at Millikan University.
Did you guys play Rolls? No, they didn't have. No.
We did not. I don't know if they had women's students.
They didn't.
At the time.
But no,
we
they
played
had a bunch.
DePaul. We played DePaul in
because
Greencastle.
Rose Holman had a bunch of stinky dorks that wore sweatpants to class every day.
I didn't say that.
It was all dudes back then.
You did.
Yeah, now they don't. I went to Indiana State, so I know about all those. All those dorks make a lot more money than me right now. Let me tell you that. Man, they're using all this formulas and stuff. But no, seriously, Alex Lamontes, we've got something here to announce. It's something we started, a couple of months ago.
Absolutely.
That is near and dear. And I'm going to go ahead and let you take over and present what is very special to all of us here at Pivot today.
Sure. So, this was a conversation you and I had, John, when we first started doing this was I really want to do everything I can to try to support the community as much as we can through JMV and through your community.
Yes.
And, Julie's here from the Fever. And, Julie, one of the things we've really enjoyed about our relationship with the Fever is that it gives us an opportunity to support something bigger than just basketball, right? And, we're an Indiana law firm. We live here. We raise our families here. And this community has supported Hurston Lamontes so much over the many, many years. And so when we had the opportunity to use this show and this platform to raise money for the Fever Fund, we had to take it.
Well, thank you. It's amazing.
And the Fever Fund, as we said before, it supports girls and women's sports and programs throughout the state of Indiana, and it's something that we really wanted to be a part of. You talked about having kids. I have 2 young daughters myself and 2 boys. The girls are so sweet. The boys are... But
sometimes a little stinky.
Yes, a little.
Sometimes.
Yeah, stinky or sticky. Or both.
Sticky both. Both of them. Yeah.
So on behalf, and I've got my Hurston Lamontes team here. On behalf of everyone at Hurston Lamontes, on behalf of the JMV community, which helped support us, and he got the word out. We are really, really proud to present the Indiana Fever Fund with a check for $6,000.
There you go.
That is amazing.
There you go.
Thank you.
Right there.
Thank
and,
you.
And Julie, I want to really, really thank you so much. Everything you guys do, everything you're doing in the community, we're proud to be even just a small part of it. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep supporting the Fever Fund. And if those folks over there that work with me can tell you anything, that when I tell you I'm going to do something, I will absolutely do it.
Thank
so you
you.
guys have my support for a long time in the future, and JMV,
that
you
Julie,
did it,
that
man.
guy's the best right there.
I
That
mean,
guy's
did
the
it.
best.
So
This is, I mean, you talk about just grassroots. Like, you took this initiative on your own. We didn't come to you and ask you to do this, Alex. Thank you. Like,
Oh,
it
you're
means
so
the world.
welcome.
And the Fever Fund, for those that don't know, is a relatively new fund. Just started in 2024. We've given away nearly $100,000 already in the community, and now we've got 6 more.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. But I think more importantly, we award grants to programs. Our board just met last week and approved several grants, as you said, really targeting on these organizations, because there's so many doing so much good work for women and children, and really trying to give a hand up, not a hand out, in terms of really helping those that need it. And I got to say, I was just on a build yesterday for Habitat for Humanity. We're building a fever house.
Oh, I love it.
And partnering with Habitat for Humanity. And the coolest thing is we've got Fever MVPs or Fever season ticket holders who come out alongside us on these builds. I did a panel build in Cambridge, and then I got to see the house yesterday. It's red, by the way. But and the homeowner was there with her son. So it speaks volumes what the power of sport can do, and you're a part of that. Thank you.
Oh,
Man, you guys are fantastic. Julie, thank you for coming over here, too.
Thank you.
Give Coach Jess my best.
Hey, come out to a Greyhound game.
I will. And I her dad and we see each other a couple of times a week.
Well, then he's already recruiting
and
you,
I know
but I will.
he wears he actually wears we make fun of him, the caramel team shoe. He wears the caramel team shoe, so we make fun of that, though. But no, you're very fortunate to have Jess. She's going to be really good.
She's golden.
Julie, it is fantastic to meet you.
You too.
You got
Appreciate the opportunity.
Alex is going to hang with us on the other side, too.
Great.
Thank you, guys. So we got the Fever and the Wings later on tonight. The entire broadcast team. I mean, hell's going to be here in the 5 o'clock hour. One of my all-time favorites, Debbie Antonelli, will be here. Pat Boylan will be here. And we'll do that coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Now, here is Pivot Bar and Balcony, just right across Pennsylvania from Cambridge Fieldhouse. We'll take a break and come back. Pat Sullivan of Sullivan Hardware and Garden is here. While I'm at it right now, is Jennifer Fester in the house anywhere? Is Jennifer here? Is there a Jennifer? Or else I'll have to get somebody else's name. And I'm from Greene County. I may be pronouncing this inaccurately, too. Jennifer Fester. Is there a Jennifer here? What's your last name? Oh, I'm sure that's it. Yeah, Foster. Listen, I can't pronounce anything, I can't read, and I sure as hell can't hear. So we've got a lot of issues. But, hey, I have great hair, so that's what really matters. Jennifer, congratulations. You are the winner. Pat Sullivan made those. Pat's going to join us coming up on the other side. Julie, thank you very much. Alex rejoins. Top of the hour. The entire Fever broadcast crew will be right here. Pivot Bar and Balcony. Let's take a break. Come back. Don't go anywhere. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. False start by John here. I'll be shooting free throws out there 11 until 1 coming up tomorrow. Hey, we're going to get into the lower to mid-90s the next 2 days. How's your system working right now? Love Heating and Air Ohio dealer can help you out right here and right now to make sure your system's working efficiently, keeping you cool and comfortable in your home. That's love-hvac.com today. John and Chris Love at 317-353-2141. After that checkup, if you need a repair, mention my name. They're going to give you $144 off the service fee. That's at Love Heating and Air Ohio dealer. 317-353-2141 online. Love-hvac.com today.
The Ride with JMV.
This is how I eat corn on the cob. I boil it, I go shirtless out on my back deck, eat it, like I ravage it, and then throw the cob out into the back 40.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Ravage it. Good words. Oh, wait a minute. Look at Caleb bringing us back into Blur. Caleb is Blur. This song like 2 minutes and 10 seconds or something. This is very gets right into it.
2 minutes and 1 second.
Ooh, I'm pretty close right there, man. That is Blur in song 2. Hey, we're live. Why are you guys not here? Pivot Bar and Balcony. You know how many out-of-towners we have right here, which is glorious. Speaking of which, we're with Hurston Lamontes, and Alex is going to rejoin, and Pat Sullivan in a second. Corey from Missouri. Where's Corey? Corey,
right
Missouri.
There.
Hello, Corey. Come on up. You won a Fever hat courtesy of us. Corey, where are you from in Missouri? Where are you from? St. Louis, Missouri. I hate the Cardinals so bad. I know it. That's Mel. Corey, great to meet you. Congratulations on that. We have a couple. We're going to celebrating 50 years, I think, right, Alex, from Idaho in here, too. It's just not bad at all.
Twin Falls. Steve and Lori.
Yes, Twin Falls, Idaho, huh?
Twin Falls, Idaho.
That sounds like a great place.
Back here somewhere. Yeah.
Is that close to where Napoleon Dynamite grew up? I think that's Preston, Idaho, right? Where Napoleon Dynamite grew up.
Yeah,
and I don't think that's, I think that was I think it was a real town, fictitious story, but I think real town with Napoleon.
What do you
Dynamite.
think about Uncle Rico? Uncle Rico's a guy I'd like to have a beer with.
Man,
you know?
In a second. Well, and Kip too. I like Kip. I mean, Kip got online, got himself a woman, and then went to Detroit and left right there. La Fonda.
Yeah.
La Fonda. That's Alex, Pat Sullivan, Sullivan Hardware and Garden. Oh, look at Debbie Antonelli is here. I am so thrilled. I cannot wait to talk hoop with Deb coming up here at the top of the hour.
Sounds like the 5 o'clock hour is packed.
It is packed right here. What, you got Egg Fest going on tomorrow.
Egg Fest is tomorrow from 10 until 4 o'clock.
Yes.
It's supposed to be 75 and sunny at 71st and Keystone.
No, wait. It's not supposed to rain again, is it?
Maybe, maybe not.
It's going to be like 90 and 92.
No, it's going to be 88. It's a big difference.
Well, 92 on Sunday. I'm going to go Paradise Day Watson poolside drinking, and there's zero way I'm going to have too many clothes on. Not too many.
Not too many.
Yeah, it's going to be Speedo time for Johnny.
So, you throw 60 eggs all charcoaled up. It can get a little warm, but I tell you what, Eggheads,
they love it.
We've got the place covered in shade screen.
Yes.
We got misters. We got beer.
Yeah, beer. That's all that matters.
That solves a lot of the
as long as you got beer.
Yeah. And you know what people do is they go outside. They run in. They go in the store. Obviously, it's air conditioned. There's plenty. But
that's all that
I think
matters.
we've already sold 700 tickets, so it should be a pretty good crowd tomorrow.
I wanted to tell Debbie Antonelli my tab was open and she could put something on there, but she does have a broadcast to do later on tonight.
She just needs to.
Does
get
it
out
matter
the
to
credit
them
card.
like it matters? It does not matter to me. I don't care. But does it matter to them? They probably have to abide.
What's
I don't abide by rules.
Yeah, they probably do.
I rarely abide.
I know.
Yeah.
We're all very aware of that.
I feel like
matter of fact, the whole station is aware of that.
Right here.
Yeah.
So Egg Fest, how many eggs will be smoking?
We got 60. We have 30 cooking teams that will be going after prizes, trophies. And it's just a lot of fun. We have Boogie Nights are playing, and also Tommy Duke and the All-Stars will be there. Tonight we have canceled our Friday night because of Egg Fest. We are loaded with people. I mean, it takes a lot to put this thing together. So, but it is a lot of fun. People really enjoy it. So we're looking forward to it. We're going to be out there tomorrow. As a matter of fact, our WYBC Home and Garden Show will be there from 9 until 1.
I believe Deb's going to be there, too. Now, I want to come by. I'm not going to be too far away. Right? Is it you tomorrow? Oh, Cam's tomorrow.
Cam. Stu doesn't do my show anymore.
So I have to shoot free throws against people at the State Fair tomorrow.
Oh, really?
From 11 till 1. But I wanted to slide by. Are you still going to be going after 1 o'clock?
Oh, yeah, we go till 4 o'clock.
Because I'll be up there. I just can't get over here.
The bands play until 4 o'clock.
I am excited about Egg Fest right there, but I got to shoot free throws at the State Fair against people that think they can beat me coming up tomorrow from 11 till 1.
You know what? The State
Fair.
Fair.
Same people are going to get their ass whipped.
Everybody needs to get out to the State Fair because they have gotten their whoops. I mean, it has been a horrible week.
Has it really?
Yeah, they've had to close twice.
I know that they had to cancel Warrant and Vixen, and they did that the last minute, and that made people mad, I'm sure. But last night they did get Busta Rhymes in, though.
I saw that.
And I think Alex Lamonte's, that's his favorite, Busta Rhymes.
Absolutely.
Right there.
I mean, you know, I'm kid of the 90s.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Yeah, it's nothing like early 90s to mid 90s hip hop.
So, but it has been tough on them, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has.
It really has.
So it's a long run, and everyone just needs to get out and support them. They've got a lot of new stuff out there this year, so it'll be pretty cool.
So a good friend with Big Green Egg, I'm assuming, a part of Egg Fest is going to be out hanging. Is Mark Sion going to be in the building?
Mark Sion is there, and he's got his boss along from Evansville. So those two will they'll go at it. They're usually the best in the morning because they start drinking too much.
Yeah,
that's a bad
I know
thing.
The feeling of that.
I will tell you that we have cooks. Like we have 2 of our staff members that spend the night. A couple college guys.
Nice.
We have to give them a few $100 because grillers will be out there, and there's always, I hate to say it, but occasionally, not every year, a griller has to be sent home in the morning.
Gotta go.
And then, there's always a fight with a neighbor because they're being too loud at 4 in the morning and stuff. So we fight all that stuff. But you know what? All of our neighbors come for free. So we know how to. So all of our, it's about 100 homes right behind.
Right
so
there.
they all get tickets to Egg Fest. So
yeah. Tell me Egg Fest. I mean, are there categories for different types of food? How does that work?
No, you know what? There's a People's Choice.
Okay.
There is different categories. I think
Right.
there's a dessert category. I should know more, but I know that there is. I think there's plaques and trophies.
A dessert on an egg.
Yes.
How does that work?
Blueberry Kuchen is always in the top.
Blueberry Kuchen.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell it is, but it's really good.
Blueberry Kuchen.
Kuchen.
That sounds dirty.
Yeah,
I know. Little coochie
It's like something I would watch back in 1983 on Skinamax or something.
Sounds like something from Green County.
Yeah,
Blueberry,
no
and find
doubt.
it
Yeah,
down
let's
there.
do it.
Got a little too much. Got a little. Ate a little too much coochie last
little
night.
too much
Well,
blueberry.
wait a minute. You can't say that.
That's a letter.
Did I say coochie? I meant
Change
coochie.
Change up the way you pronounce that, would you?
Coochie. I said coochie.
Yeah. Pat Sullivan of Sullivan Hardware and Garden. They're live 9 until 1 tomorrow, 93 WIBC at Egg Fest and Keystone location of Sullivan
That's
Hardware
right.
and Garden.
With all the rain, everybody needs to get down and check their sump pump. That's what I'm here to say.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Those sump pumps.
I do that constantly.
They work so hard.
Yeah.
And unlike like a water heater, when it goes bad, it'll start dripping on the floor. And you go, it's going bad. But you still have a shower. Sump pumps stop, and then they flood the basement. So you got to make sure if it works a fair amount, you want to replace it every 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And people don't.
How do you check how do you know if it's working?
How do you know if it?
When you go down there?
you know it's working. It's just that I will have Hope Plumbing come out, and they'll change it out every 5 years. They'll check the batteries on the backup. We have a battery backup, but there's no. Yeah, it works, but it's 5 years old. It works pretty hard. You go, I'm not going to take the chance.
Of course, I asked LD Smith Plumbing and Drains
that's
to
right.
come out, and they
yeah.
check it out. And I've got a badass battery backup too to make sure nothing's compromised. I can't have water where it shouldn't be.
No, LD Smith is a big one. Denny loves LD Smith.
Yeah, big Denny Smith.
Yeah,
coming up tomorrow too.
Yes,
so,
Denny, we are bringing him along as well.
Yeah, are you really? I know, every time you do. Hey, Alex, we had somebody that has a 50-year anniversary here.
They disappeared, and I thought
From
they came
Twin
back.
Falls, Idaho.
Yeah,
is what we're looking
Steve
for.
and Lori. So,
if they get back, you can let us know. What's amazing about these Fever games is you get people from everywhere.
It was their first game.
From these.
Came here from Twin City.
And you got Dallas and the Fever, and we do have people sitting on the balcony
that
right
balcony
now.
is really cool here
We
at
stayed
the
inside.
Hyatt.
Well, and every time we come, and Dev can attest to this, our engineer, it seems like we're always kind of forced inside because of the weather conditions outside. But it is a glorious and maybe the most glorious balcony you're going to find in downtown
because it
Indy.
overlooks the crowd as they make their way into the stadium.
It really is great. Egg Fest coming up tomorrow. Any advice for folks out there from Sullivan Hardware and Garden? Not about Egg Fest, but just in general terms about lawn, landscaping, all that.
Yep, like I say, we've been talking a lot of water. So sump pumps, making sure that nobody ever goes outside, but you might notice that the water is pouring over your gutters.
Yeah.
That means they're clogged. It could just be as simple as a tennis ball or something that is dropped in there. Making sure the water moves away from the foundation.
No doubt.
So if you did a little landscaping and you put in all that nice, beautiful soil, a lot of times for your house, that's a mistake because you want a nice clay plate for the first, 24 inches or so to sheet the water. Clay plate, we like to say.
Clay plate.
Clay plate.
Okay.
Sounds like somebody played for the Reds, right? Clay plate.
Clay Carroll's who you're thinking about.
Yeah,
right
that's
there,
right.
the former pitcher.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly who I'm thinking about.
Clay Carroll.
So making sure if you did, you got to watch those things. So when we have this, this is a historic, maybe not so much in Indianapolis proper, but certainly
to the
in
east,
the listening area, there is
a
ton. It has been historic amount of water.
Well, and Pat, we recognized this and talked about it a little bit earlier from our friends up in Anderson and Pendleton and Madison County, over to Henry County and Newcastle, through Cambridge City all the way out to Wayne County and Richmond. Those areas, basically anywhere between Hancock County and the Indiana-Ohio border has been compromised with floodwaters and heavy waters.
And it's just storms just sit on you.
Unprecedented amounts of water where there's just nowhere else to go.
That's right. So hopefully we'll have it a little enjoyment. I watched the Colts last night.
Yes.
That was kind of fun.
It's good to have him back. It was good. And to me, because I like Caden Curry a great deal, it was good to see him show exactly what he is in that game in the second half. But, it was good to have him back in general.
Did we not go for a 60-yard field goal and a 61?
They did.
61
and they made
you got to see what these dudes can do in your kicker battle.
And we were just talking about when 50 yards was a big deal. If you could make a 50-yard, you're expected. You're expected.
I watched an NFC title game, I think on Facebook the other day, between the Niners and the Cowboys in the heyday of Steve Young and Troy
95?
Aikman. And they had kickers missing everything.
Yeah.
Michael Kofor, who actually played here once upon a time, they were missing like 45-yarders and stuff.
Yeah.
That'd get your ass fired in a minute around here now. If you miss, like Blake Grupe missed a 61-yarder last night, everybody's going, because Schrader made one. And now you have to be perfect.
I know.
You do. And you saw Mike Vrabel with his kicker. I wasn't happy about that because that guy couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
I know. And the 61 that was missed, he had the distance. It was just to the right.
Just a little bit to the right. You got to be perfect, if not nearly perfect. All right, Pat rejoins on the other side. Alex as well. Quick break. We'll come back. Debbie Antonelli and the Fever Company is going to join us coming up. I see Debbie over there. She's going to join us coming up at the top of the hour. Pat Boylan as well. And Kelsey Casper is going to be in here. We got a lot more for you live from Pivot Bar and Balcony. Don't go anywhere. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Hey, John here for Connecticut Water. Connecticut Water Systems. That's Connecticut Water Systems, my friend Joe, in your home. If you don't have Connecticut Water, then you got to recognize you don't have the best water possible. And what's great about Connecticut is they're going to get in and give you a free in-home test. You're going to find out what is necessary for your water and having the best water in your home. And what they're going to do is cobble together a system that is specific for your home water needs. Drinkability, washability, bathability, all of the above, the best water possible with that of Kinetico. Get my friend Joe in there for that free in-home water test today. That's Kinetico.com. Hey, John here for Big Red Liquors. It powers the JMV Takeover every Saturday night on B105.7. 100-plus locations, state of Indiana. I promise there's going to be one near you. In fact, 19 new here in the Indianapolis area, Big Red Liquors. This weekend, for example, the Superior Light Beer Michelob Ultra, great deals. We are talking 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. That is right up your alley if you're watching your weight, but you love the taste of great beer. Modelo Oro, Corona Premium, also low-calorie beers, and all can be had on sale at Big Red Liquors. 100-plus locations, state of Indiana, powers the JMV Takeover every Saturday night on B105.7. To find that location nearest you, that's BigRedLiquors.com.
The Ride with JMV.
Oh, you got jokes to go along with that ugly jump shot of yours, huh?
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Caleb's rubbing that in back there right now on me because my sights are bent. I've got a problem with the jumper. I think that Caleb, who plays with me all the time, understands that right now. Caleb's back in the studio. By the way, we've got a free throw contest, State Fair tomorrow, 11 until 1 with me. You can just come out and sign up. And if you ever thought you wanted to beat me down in basketball, this is going to be your opportunity tomorrow, 11 until 1. Free throw challenge, the JMV free throw challenge, Indiana State Fair basketball courts. The north side of the fairgrounds will be there from 11 until 1. Be there. You can win. You got family 4-packs. You got Midway bracelets for the fair. That is coming up tomorrow. I did want to announce, is Mary Levine in here anywhere? Mary is the winner. We've got a Yeti from our good friend Pat Sullivan of Sullivan Hardware and Garden for you.
Alex
Mary.
paid for that.
Yes. See, look at that. Mary,
You're welcome.
Congratulations right there.
Those are handmade. He made them by hand.
Let me set the stage. We got
It's
a couple
getting
of
even worse
minutes
now.
before the top of the hour. That's the voice of Alex Lamontes of Hurst and Lamontes right there. Pat Sullivan of Sullivan Hardware and Garden. Hashtag Ask Pat. And Debbie Antonelli, my hero from the Fever broadcast right there. Hall of Famer, NC State. Fantastic Cooper, and I love the breakdown of Debbie on those Fever games. You do a fantastic job.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. And you're lucky I'm not in town tomorrow for that free throw shooting contest.
Would you challenge me?
Oh, yeah.
My sights are a little bit bent right now. I don't know why. I think I'm tired.
Well, before we get into the Fever, about my Special Olympic fundraiser, right?
Well, tell us more.
With 24 hours, Nothing But Net is a 24-hour free throw shooting marathon. I make 100 free throws on the top of every hour for 24 straight hours. So at the end of 24 hours, I've made 2,400. I've done it for 8 years, and it's all to raise money for Special Olympics.
That is awesome.
Now, let me tell you, the best part is in 8 years, we're over $1.6 million.
That's so beautiful.
Now, this year, this is why I'm going to tell you, you're lucky I'm not in town tomorrow.
I am lucky, yeah. Tomorrow.
Because this year, my free throw shooting average was the best that I've had. I made 2,400. I missed 103. I shot 96%.
Wow.
Now, when you look at me and you know I have a 6 in front of my number and I get AARP mail, can you imagine the kind of fitness and incredible work I got to put in to be ready to do this?
God. You just set the bar so incredibly high for me tomorrow. I'm in trouble.
3 boys. My middle son has Down syndrome. He is a graduate of the Clemson Life program. Life is an acronym. Learning is for everyone. And Special Olympics was a huge part of our journey. So I decided to try to do something to help impact families like mine. And Special Olympic athletes can't train and compete and organize and socialize by themselves. They need help to do so. And all the things that my son experienced, other families are getting to do so. And the money that we have raised goes straight to the athletes. So over the course of 8 years, it's 1.6. I'm getting closer to 2 million. I'm going to keep doing it until I can't. And my 8-year average is 94.
That is so
sweet.
Now you have a routine?
So
what is it?
Well, first of all, people ask me all the time, can you teach somebody how to shoot free throws? And I'm like, well, do they know how to shoot? Because, it's I do the same things probably you do. Toe the nail, elbow under the ball, follow through. This year, I typically look at the front of the rim. This year, I changed to look at the back of the rim. That was the only really significant difference.
Why did you change that? Because I look at the front, too.
Yeah, I changed because when I was training in my driveway, the elements were affecting me more than I thought. And so when I got into the gym where there are no elements, I just kept the routine of looking at the back of the rim, and I think it just made me drill my focus down a little bit
Probably the slope
harder.
on the driveway.
It was a little breezy in Charleston, where the intercoastal breeze comes in, and
we don't want to hear about your intercoastal
we don't have
breeze.
much of an intercoastal breeze.
We get a little corn, get some breeze from the cornfield. That's about all we have.
Hey, Pat, remind people about Egg Fest coming up tomorrow, too.
Tomorrow, 9 until 4 at 71st and Keystone. And I also want to tell you that we always have a Down syndrome employee, and people don't realize how great it is because our staff just loves.
Well,
the
they're
Down
fun,
syndrome.
and they
really are. People, it's like
they're on time. They work hard. They don't give you any lip. They love what they're doing.
Oh, actually, we get some that have lip. we get some that get a little lippy, but that's part of the charm. And you know what's so funny? And I hope I don't get in trouble from.
Well, you already said something I'm going to get in trouble
like,
for, probably. That's all
so
good. You're good. I'm just joking. Yeah.
So we had he's driving a forklift.
Oh. Well, I'm sure you've trained him.
In supervision.
If he's trained,
supervised.
Yeah. I have 100%.
You know what? It's a beautiful thing.
It
really
is. That's great.
Yep. Love it.
That's a good story.
Pat is a terrific dude, and you do so much for around here. Thank you for what you do. And then Egg Fest is one of the crowning achievements that you have over the course of a season.
Do you know what a big green egg is?
Yes, I own one. I just made burgers and chicken on it for my boys the other night.
Well, Mark Sion's going to call me in 5 seconds
Tomorrow is Egg Fest, so we'll have about 1,500 people in our place for Egg Fest.
I'm missing out on a lot tomorrow.
Where are we going? Why aren't you?
I've got a responsibility with the K. Yao Cancer Fund.
Okay.
And that was my coach.
That's a big responsibility right there, yeah.
And I'm going to a board meeting, and we have a golf outing, and it's going to be a busy weekend. And then I'll catch up with the team in Toronto.
Oh, well, hey, you're going to hang with us at the 5 o'clock hour. Pat's got Sullivan Hardware and Garden tomorrow.
Pat,
Egg Fest. We've got the Home and Garden Show. You and Denny and Allison and Terry live from your Keystone Avenue
Keystone,
location.
9 until 1.
All right, 9 until 1 on 93 WIBC. Alex Lamontes is going to rejoin as well, and a lot more. Pivot Bar and Balcony. We're coming back with Debbie and more right here. Don't go anywhere. 5 o'clock hour. Colts and Pats also on the rebound, too. We got that and more coming up for you. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Hey, it's John for Andy Moore Buick GMC. My friend Eric Wilson, Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st at Road 37 in Fishers, the hottest auto manufacturer out there right now. Have you heard the news? It is Buick, and the hottest SUV on the market in a variety of styles is the Buick Enclave. In a variety of styles that's going to fit you, your family, and the family's budget. Such a big deal. Ready to roll off with the inventory, the service after the sale, and the incentives to buy with my friend Eric Wilson at Andy Moore Buick GMC. Tell him I sent you today. 131st State Road 37 in Fishers.
The Ride with JMV.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Thank you for joining us. There was really no winner or losers last night. Maybe Brian Mason, who got rolled up and got the ligaments torn. The Colts special teams coordinator on that final play. 13-13 Colts and the Patriots preseason last night. Field Yates with a description of what he saw and thoughts really all the way around with Field from ESPN a little bit earlier. Joel A. Erickson also covered that. And podcasts abound, 1075thefan.com. Pat Sullivan, Sullivan Hardware and Garden. Another Pat's going to join us. That's Pat Boylan, who is the voice of the Fever. Debbie Antonelli is going to rejoin us, too. And Alex Lamontes of Hurst and Lamontes, who brings us. And this is a destination for you, Pivot Bar and Balcony. Now, normally we hang out on the best balcony here in central Indiana, but the weather was threatening. Now, it looks like it's trying to clear off a little bit, which is good. But we do have a great crowd. And speaking of which, we're giving away stuff. Is Elizabeth Murphy in the house? Elizabeth Murphy. I need an Elizabeth Murphy. If not, we're going to have to get another name right here that Debbie is going to select. Elizabeth Murphy, are you here? Going once, going twice, no sale. Jane Litwinley. I'm going to butcher that last name. Come on over here, Jane. Hey, how badly did I butcher your last name?
No, pretty good.
Pretty good. Where are you from?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Jane, congratulations. Let me give this to you. Go hook up. Yeah, thank you very much. Great to meet you. Jane is from New Jersey right there for the Wings and the Fever later on tonight and the broadcast duo. Debbie Antonelli joins us. Pat Boylan is here. Alex Lamontes as well. First, Pat, let's welcome you in. All right, are you all set and ready?
I'm ready to go. This is jarring, though, because I've had so many conversations with you in person over the years. So many conversations over the phone over the years. But I think this is maybe first time on air with you in person.
This events like this kind of you have to just be very sporadic. I'm very sporadic, so it's good. We got a lot of stuff going, and you guys have the same thing. I mean, you're talking in front of, a lot of people, a lot of stuff going on as well. But no, these are the best things like this too. And then to have Debbie with us as well, which is outstanding. How are things going for you?
Things are going really well. It's been a good season. I think things are trending in the right direction. It's been a couple weeks since we've had a game. It's so different now, and in most ways for the much better. But just a few years ago, we did 39 of the 40 games. Now I think our number is 25 or something like that. So we go these stretches where we go a couple weeks without seeing each other, without doing a game. But it's good to be back on the airwaves here tonight.
So that's a good thing. Don't get me wrong, but you guys should be more prevalent. There's no doubt about that. But this team is playing its best basketball right here and right now, is it not?
So fun, right? I mean, the offensive explosion, the balance, the amount of players that can make plays. This is a playmaker's game tonight, shot maker's game. This should be 120 to 117 tonight. I mean, I really think the way the Fever are playing, the pace that they play, how hard they run the floor, and how wide it opens up all kinds of space. There's a lot of really good offensive habits that they have from the beginning of the season that have gotten better as the year has gone on.
So Debbie Antonelli right there, Pat Boylan as well. Alex Lamontes is with us, and he can chime in on any questions if he wants to as well. Hey, Pat, you take away anything that first game of the season was a disappointment, and it was the team that they're playing later on this evening. Is there any takeaways from that, or has things just changed so dramatically now it really doesn't matter?
Well, the game was a lot like Deb was describing that she expects to see here tonight. It was 107-104. I actually asked Aaliyah Boston about that a couple days ago, and she kind of chuckled. I said, doesn't that seem like it was months ago? I mean, it seems like a month in the Fever world is like 3 months of the regular world. And she just kind of chuckled and said, I don't know that there's any takeaways from that game. It was so long ago. Things look so different now. You hate to see injuries, but Dallas has a few significant players who aren't available here tonight. I believe Monique Billings didn't play in that game. So I think it's tough to draw a whole lot from it, other than the fact that you've got offensive playmakers, as Deb alluded to, all over the floor, and I would expect the style to be similar. If neither team hits triple digits tonight, I'm going to be surprised.
Yeah.
Are we seeing some of the subpar categories with the Fever? Turnovers, fouling too much, defensively. Do we see those on the rise right now with them winning and the consistency more?
I think they're getting better in all those categories, and I want to give credit to Stephanie White, who continues to add layers to their defense. It's not just under overhead strap, ice jam, switch, drop, the 8 different ways you can guard a ball screen or some variation of it, but it's, the 2-2-1 back into a zone. It's, the way we put pressure on teams with our offense that really creates opportunities for us defensively up the floor in transition. There's just a lot of layers pressing full court. Those things that she has added has made this team better and more complete. I think the rotation has trimmed a little bit. I definitely think Aaliyah Boston adjusting to being the 4. KK Timpson, coming in the starting lineup and allowing the rotation at the 5 position to change a little bit. All those things are analytical, but they're also gut reactions to who you're playing and what you've seen in practice and what you need to be doing to be thinking about the playoffs, which are coming up soon.
I think they're trending in the right direction in just about every conceivable category. And I'm also a believer in when you go months of play or even weeks of play, you're going to lose. It's going to happen. I'm a believer in how you lose being important. And if you look at the Fever's last few weeks, they're 7-9. They're 7-2 in their last 9. You look at those couple of losses. They're within a couple points at Minnesota, end of a road trip. Best team record-wise in the league is the Lynx.
Mess. Yeah.
And then the other loss is a game they win 999 times out of 1,000 against the Aces, and it goes into overtime. So to me, even when they have lost, they have looked the part of a team that is championship caliber, and I think trending in the right direction here at the right time of the season. And then the obvious curveball that's going to be thrown in here is we're going to hit pause for 3 weeks. So we're going to pick the league back up in mid-September because of the FIBA World Cup. You're trending in the right direction, but it's going to be a whole different storyline, I think, at the end of September, how teams are looking then.
Yeah, 7 out of the last 9 games, right? So what do you think has been the biggest difference from the beginning of the season versus the last 9 games where, they've won 7 out of the last 9. What do you guys think?
I think it's their acceleration in their quarter court offensively. It's how quickly they get to their action to the second side, understanding rotations. I think they've always tried to play fast and run, and they still continue to do that. But I think Aaliyah Boston's adjustment to playing the 4. In the beginning of the season, there were a lot of conversation about did Indiana have the 4 player that they needed to be able to stretch the floor. I look at 4 players in 2 ways. One as stretch 4s, which can shoot the 3, or hybrid 4s, which can shoot it and make decisions. Aaliyah Boston can do both of those, and I think her fitness, her ability to get it off the glass and go. We don't really need an outlet pass. Timpson might be the only one that might, dribble 2 or 3 times, but everyone else can initiate the offense, and that gets you going faster. And the harder you run the floor, the quicker you create mismatch opportunities, and the Fever are doing that really well. And Dallas will do that well tonight as well also.
She of course, sees the game at a higher level than I do, but the Fever were, to your point, 5-5 through 10 games. They're 16-7 since. And when I look at it, I don't see one area that's dramatically improved. But when you look at the Fever at the beginning of the year, Kelsey Mitchell has stepped up her game to another worldly level. Right now, the backcourt that you're seeing of Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell is historically good. It's in my opinion, the best a backcourt has ever played in the history of the league. They were playing good at the beginning of the year, really good, all-star level good, but now they're playing superstar historic good. The defense at the beginning of the year was in the bottom 3 or the bottom 4. It's found its way to mid-pack. So I think it's a lot of areas that have taken a step or 2 forward, and all of those things have added up.
You see how excited Pat and I are about the team? There's so much good when you look at through a hoops lens, and you think about how much this team continues to evolve, and Kelsey Mitchell is just unreal. I've never seen a player quicker in the women's game with a ball in her hands. I'm trying to go and give you a comparison. I make the comparison all the time on the air, and Pat laughs because he knows what I'm going to say. We know each other's comments. Kelsey plays the game like a running back. You got to play the game low to high. If you're coaching little kids in defense, You're not telling them, worried about all these ball screens and all this different schematic stuff that you do. What you tell them is stay between your man and the basket and get your shoulders lower than the person you're guarding. Okay, well, Kelsey Mitchell plays the game low in every aspect. She has got her shoulder pads over her thigh pads like she's hitting the offensive line. And when she gets to the paint, she powers through and finishes. She's got great explosion. She's got quickness. And I always say, nobody plays the game like that. And there are more players in the league right now that can make the defense wrong. No matter what you throw at them, they have a counter or a solution. Indiana has 3 players like that. Not every team has 3 like that, and that's part of the reason why they're so powerful on the offensive end.
I think with her, and I've always said this about left-handed players, I think that jacks people up. Yeah, I don't. And you can go through the scouting report and say, hey, Kelsey Mitchell is left-handed. But when you get out there and it's the heat of the moment, I just think naturally you tend to lean right-handed every time. I just think the left-handers have, especially one with that much quickness off the dribble, has a significant advantage in that category.
I agree with you. And here's the other thing. It's 2 movable forces trying to stop the other, right? Because back in the day, you used to catch it, triple threat, and wait for the screen. Okay? Today, we're not doing that. You're already on the move when you catch it. So Kelsey's already got her feet going and moving. So when she catches it and then you come to close out, forget about it. I don't care who it is defensively, how big or tall or how quick or long you are, you're not going to stop her. She has a counter and a solution to all of those.
Well, and two, when the ball's on the other side of the floor, Caitlin Clark has it, and she's decision-making, you've got decisions yourself to make, and Kelsey Mitchell's going to take advantage of any late closeout in the world. But, yeah, it just – I don't know what other teams are going to be able to do when the Fever are working an optimum offensive condition here, because when she gets the ball, you get that late closeout, and you're just way too out of control.
Yeah.
You can't do anything with it anyway, but when you're out of control on that close, you got no chance.
Here's the thing. For me, working with Pat, this is why when you have great partners, you know each other's skill set. And Pat is so good at historically keeping us on track with records and what's coming next and the milestone. And so today I was looking at Kelsey's threes because she's got 97. 3 other times she's made 100 threes. The single season record is held by Sabrina Ionescu at New York. She's made 128. So Kelsey Mitchell is on track to pass that. And then you talk about, when we're talking about closeouts, right? We didn't even talk about her ability to shoot the 3. So that's what makes her just really unguardable and fun to watch, right? I mean, how much fun?
God.
It's so fun.
What a blast, right?
So Debbie Antonelli, Pat Boyle, and Alex Lamonte's here. We're at Pivot Bar and Balcony before the Fever play the Wings coming up later on tonight. My theory is this, and I pass this along to the Pacer fans out there. This Fever team reminds me so much, Pat, of the Pacer teams going back a couple of years when their best defense was so much of a better pushing the pace offense. And everybody wants to say, I love to play at that pace until they have to play at that pace, and they can't. And I think that's the determination teams have to take playing the Fever. They push it off of makes, they push it off of misses, and you may want to play that way, but when you get out there and you have to play both ends, you're maybe not capable of doing it. The Fever take advantage of that.
There are eerie parallels, in my opinion, between the last couple of healthy Pacers teams and this Indiana Fever team. I mean, first of all, you've got maybe the best passer in the world on the NBA side and on the WNBA side, the best vision in this city and playing in that building. And their ability to get the outlet pass, to get the ball ahead, as Debbie's talking about, how quickly do you get into your quarter court. All of that is very, very similar. But also this pace of play. And the other thing that strikes me, and the Pacers had such success doing this, and it's why I can't wait to get to the playoffs, and I can't wait to hopefully get into a longer series. So in the WNBA, round 1 is best of 3. Round 2 is best of 5. If you get to the finals, it's best of 7. How often did we see the Pacers, that wear-down effect almost became cliche. It almost became something that you got tired of hearing because so many people talked about it. But as a series wore on and as it got longer, they wore teams down with their pace. And so, to me, like, I look at the playoffs coming up, and by the way, things are so compact in the WNBA standings right now. The Fever could be anywhere from 2 to 8. So these games down the stretch are exceedingly important. But to me, the first round, if you're looking at it from a Fever perspective, is almost the scariest. You typically think of that being your easiest round. But as you get into hopefully round 2 and hopefully into the finals, beating this team 4 times or beating this team 3 times is going to be extremely difficult. That first round series, that's best of 3, to me is almost the scariest one because there's a higher margin for error. But when you have Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston, beating that trio 3 or 4 times is going to be exceedingly difficult if they can get themselves into those scenarios.
We do not want to be in the 4-5 game.
Sure.
No. It cannot be there. Anywhere but there.
Yeah, and I also will allude to the fact that, taking time off is weird.
For pace, that could be an issue. Because now you got to rely on your conditioning.
That is weird. And you mentioned the Pacers. You saw the Knicks win a title, an NBA title this year. The Pacers were not involved in that, obviously, off their 19-win season. But what did they do? They affected their season by adjusting to what the Pacers had taught them the last 2 years. They fired their coach, brought in Mike Brown. He solidified the bench and made sure they had more bench support, and they were ready to play teams like the Pacers with a higher pace, and they utilized their bench. And they didn't wear down. Mike Brown didn't wear down that team by Christmas. They were fresh and ready to go in the postseason. And to me, that was all aspects that the Pacers taught them in, again, that season in which they were out of it because they were compromised by injuries with 19 wins.
And I think we've had this conversation on your show before, but if you look at Stephanie White coach teams as well, this tends to be the trend. The 2015 Indiana Fever were a win away from a WNBA championship. They nearly had a shocking upset of one of the greatest dynasties in WNBA history. The Minnesota Lynx, who had 4 Olympians, they got to the decisive Game 5 on the shoulders of Tamika Catchings and on the shoulders of Stephanie White and some other good players, but they were not the same level of team as Minnesota was. But the point here is that team started 3-6 and ended up in a decisive Game 5 of the finals. And if you look at Stephanie White coached WNBA teams over the course of her, albeit still fairly young WNBA career, the trajectory is always going like this by the end of the season, including last year's team. Last year's team lost Caitlin Clark, and then it took them naturally a long time to figure out how to win without her. But then they're in overtime to go to the WNBA Finals. So I think that's one trend line of Stephanie White coach teams that you have to give her a ton of credit for is they don't always start well, but they tend to be playing this level of ball at the end of the year. That 3 weeks off is a little scary, I think, if you're a Fever fan because they're playing so well. But I was a little worried about All-Star break, too, and they played great going into the All-Star break and played great coming out of it, too.
It's layers. It's what I said before. It's adding pieces slowly, figuring out what you need with your personnel, what you're capable of doing, and sticking with some of the habits that you know are going to be pivotal to be able to win.
I totally agree. And to your point about Aaliyah Boston really kind of coming into that number 4 role, I mean, from your perspective, what are some of the key things that you think she had to change about her game from shifting into that role? What do you think?
If you look at Aaliyah Boston from her freshman year at the University of South Carolina, and Dawn Staley won a championship with her, if you look at what she's become since, I don't ever remember her dribbling the ball up the floor or doing anything but reversing it on the top of the floor offensively. They would bring her away from contact, dive her back, and just overpower teams. Now, her fitness is at the best. If you think about it, this is her 4th year in the league, so her fitness is where it needs to be to play the pace. She can shoot the 3, which she couldn't do and didn't do she just didn't do it in college. I don't know if she could or not. She may have taken a few, and I was there in the game that she took her very first 3 in a college game against Connecticut in Columbia. I was calling that game, so I remember when she did it. But to watch her evolve and see how much time she's put in to be able to shoot the 3, that changes everything. Now, you remember Caitlin's rookie year. It was a lot of middle ball screen, middle third action, okay? Yep. Because that's what Aaliyah could do. And then basically she is only running free throw line to free throw line, okay? So you're asking her now to do a little bit of everything, and she has stepped up And her fitness and her conditioning is the first place that I would say. And then her complete skill set. I mean, she handles like a guard. She changes pace. She slices the floor. She does all the things that guards would do up the floor in transition. And for a 6'5" woman, we just don't have many that can do that.
I just think about high ball screen action and kind of in terms of how Halliburton ran that with Miles here. But Aaliyah Boston adds many more layers in this case. But the high ball screen action where Caitlin Clark has the opportunity to dissect the defense with either her threat offensively or her incredible passing. And then when you think about Kelsey Mitchell being on the other side, those are the late closeouts we're talking about. Yeah. I mean, you skip past it to Kelsey Mitchell, and then you got a really late closeout with the help defense being out of position. And you would think that the other teams have no chance. Do we see enough of the high ball screen action? Because it seems like sometimes maybe I want a little bit more, but I think maybe I'm a little bit selfish in that category.
I always want a little bit more with shooters in the corner just because I think the way we're shooting the basketball right now from three, Aaliyah Boston leads the league, Sophie is second, and Kelsey is fourth. We have 3 players that are top 5 in the league and shooting the three right now. So here's the other action that I think is unguardable besides that, because now where are you going to help? Where's the help going to come from? How are you going to guard the ball screen? What are you going to do with Aaliyah? She's more of a pop or a roll. She's like 50-50 now, and I think she likes to pop because she can make plays on the top of the floor. But when Indiana runs the wide pin down action where it's Boston, instead of going down the lane line to set the screen, they set the pin down wide, and Kelsey is going to get to her left hand. So if you top block that, which means you sit on top of Kelsey, so you cannot allow her to use the screen, then she 90 cuts you on the baseline, and she's too fast, they're going to score. And the other side of the floor has 3 shooters on it, so you can't pinch, and we got the defensive 3-second rule. So there's a lot of space. Now, if you let Kelsey use the screen, she is going to curl to the nail. And when she gets to the nail, she's either going to going left, she's going to pull up into the jumper, or she's going to hit Aaliyah over the top for a pick and roll action. And we could run that all game. And I'm telling you, nobody's going to stop that. You can't stop it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think when Caitlin Clark's at her best, she's dissecting, looking for her own, hunting her own. I think when teams get her, they get her in like the third level of decision making. If it's not her looking for her own offense or her finding somebody else, when she has to stop and then pivot back, I think that's when the defense takes the advantage. I love the fact that they go at it and try to go at it so early offensively every single possession.
I mean, in the first 8 to 10 seconds of the shot clock, there's usually a shot going up.
Yeah.
It's fast, and it's hard to keep up with.
Pat, it's so much Pacer-like. It really is Pacer-like.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
The parallels between the two teams are amazing. And the other thing I want to say about Aaliyah Boston is there's a level of selflessness to her game because of how well Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark can play. Aaliyah Boston could go on another team and be a 20-point-per-game scorer and be the center focal point and all of that. But her willingness, I think, to at times take a half step back of what she's capable of because of what Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark are doing, I think needs to be noticed and spotlighted as well, because when you have 3 players like this, sometimes you see it work out great, the Miami Heat. Sometimes you see it work out horribly. The recent Phoenix Suns is the best example I can think of. It's working really well in part because everybody's willing to play a specific role, and oftentimes that's a little bit less than they're capable of, but for the betterment of the team.
Can you believe the NBA put the Pacers on the road and Tyrese Halliburton's return? Who did that?
It's disappointing.
Who did that?
It's disappointing.
In New Orleans, of all places, too.
Yeah.
Nobody gives 2 craps. That's ridiculous.
If you could have said...
Easing.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, if you could have said what is maybe the least profile opening night you could have picked at New Orleans, might have been that choice.
Well, but think about this. The home opener, you're going to have Greene County up in here with Dusty May.
There you go.
There
you go. They were just waiting for your guy to come in the building.
Yeah.
And let me. I talked about
you guys better order more beer because Greene County's coming for the Pacer home opener.
Here's the deal. That first game that Tyrese Halliburton steps back on this floor right across the street, it's going to be special, and it was going to be an event and a moment, regardless of if it was game 1, game 3, whatever. So would you like to open at home? Of course. But to me, that moment doesn't lose any luster just because it's game 2.
So, Pat, what have you decided as far as your content provider? Have we decided that yet? Is that your decision?
You know what?
We got an announcement.
For some reason, they don't let me in the room.
I'm trying to text Eddie White to see if he can give me an insight, but he hasn't.
For good reason, they don't let me in the room. Eddie would probably be a good contact. I am hopeful that there will be information to be shared soon, but that would be for people that are smarter than me and know that information.
These
better.
next 2 years are some of the more impactful years that we have ever been around. This Pacer team, this organization, these next 2 years, because there's a little bit after that, there's a little bit of muddy, a little bit of mystery. But these next 2 years are the ones I think everybody's banking on this team to be and accomplish ultimately what we had hoped it would have done the year before last.
No question. And, go back quickly to the TV partner concept. We've been so fortunate to pair with WTHR here locally because that has given us a massive outlet for the Fever to be on, and they are just tremendous partners, and the Pacers have put games on WTHR as well. So that's been a tremendous partnership. And you're in a window here. You're in a window with both teams at the same time where you say, if things break your way, you've got realistic championship hopes. Now, on the NBA, there's a lot of teams that feel that way. And frankly, there's probably more in the WNBA that there's ever been as well. I mean, Washington is in 8th right now, and they're only a couple games out of 4th. So both leagues have a lot of teams that feel that way. But you've got windows right now for both teams where I think they look at it and they say, if we accomplish what we think we can accomplish, it means going back to the NBA Finals and winning one. It means going to the WNBA Finals and winning one. And you don't get those windows very often, and rarely do they coincide with each other from a WNBA and an NBA perspective. And both teams will have a lot of work to get there, but both teams are firmly in those windows.
We are trying to get everybody on board here. The Fever, the Pacers, and the Colts, because we need some winning. We need some consistency in winning right here.
I grew up, and part of the reason I think I found this career is because I grew up in the perfect time to be a kid in Indianapolis. I'm a 90s kid. Yeah. I had Reggie Miller and the Pacers runs to the finals, and then Pacers-Knicks and Pacers-Bulls. I had Peyton Manning, and we all know the Colts runs. Tamika Catchings comes into town in the early 2000s, and the Fever are consistently very, very good, and they win a championship in 2012 as well. I mean, it was the perfect time to be a kid here, and that's when you're at your biggest sports fandom. And so I always think of, the kids now that are in the 8 to 15 window, and I hope we're getting there.
I feel like big-ass losers, I think, a little bit. Around here. Seriously, I feel bad about that, but like the last 10 years, geez, the Colts. Yeah.
Well, the Pacers,
those are my words, not yours.
The Pacers were in the finals recently. The Fever have this Caitlin Clark era that has brought in just a completely different, level of interest to the.
The Colts have to pick up the slack a little bit here, is what we're saying.
I am no Colts expert, but I am a Colts fan, so I hope that that continues.
Well, I think everybody knows that all this is going to be lumped on me, Pat. You're all good.
That's what I'm trying to do, at least.
But I'm trying to get them going, too, because we need that. I mean, listen, the fans have been here for a while. I mean, you're kind of ready to back up what you're doing. The Pacers have done it, and hopefully they do it in the next 2 years, especially, and the Fever this season.
And the Colts were doing it at the start of last year. I mean, that was really exciting to watch the beginning of that, and then injuries happened and some bad luck and all of that. So hopefully they can, you're talking about another team. Hopefully you pick up kind of where you left off when things felt good.
See, the voice of reason's Pat Boylan right there.
Exactly.
That's why he's a great partner.
Keeps me out of trouble.
All right. Do you mind, Debbie Antonelli, Pat Boylan here, do you mind if I ask you about the pregame presser on Tuesday?
Sure.
From Steph on the other side, too, and we'll see if we'll agree on that coming up next. Hey, we're at Pivot Bar and Balcony. Alex Lamontes, Pat Boylan, Debbie Antonelli. We got a lot more for you till the top of the hour we go. We'd love to see you here before the Wings and the Fever. This is your destination. It is Pivot Bar and Balcony. We'll come back. I'll give something away. We'll hang out and talk a little bit more about hoop and whatever piques our interest coming up next. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Today's forecast from the Fox 59 Weather Authority.
A big break from the showers and thunderstorms, but how long will it last? It looks like primarily dry overnight, warm temperatures, haze and fog, 74 for a low. Wouldn't rule out a nighttime shower or thunder shower, but most of that activity stays north to start the day on Friday. Breezy and it heats up to 90 degrees. Chances for scattered thunderstorms may pop into the afternoon to about 30 or 40%. A bigger break is coming to start the work week. From the Fox 59 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Brian Wilkes for The Fan. Hey, John, for Connecticut, Connecticut.com. That is Connecticut Water Systems, the best water possible. My friend Joe at Connecticut.com for the free in-home water test to find out what they can do. And they're going to put together a Connecticut Water System specific for you. Connecticut.com to get that free in-home water test today. As for my friend Joe, again, one more time, sign up today, Connecticut.com. Hey, John, for WeGrowHairIndy.com. I had my booster yesterday. It is maintaining after 9 years your real hair growth. If you're losing it, you want to do something about it right now. Darren Andrews has you. He's got you covered, too. Multi-unit hair grafting, artist robotic FUE, laser hair therapy, and boosters to maintain
all in one place. And a shout-out to Mackenzie and Tori with the boosters yesterday at WeGrowHairIndy.com. Call Darren Andrews today, and if you want your real growing hair, and I mean real growing hair, get started now. 317-522-2995. That's WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
The Ride with JMV.
Hey, you gonna stare all day or you gonna buy something?
I'm gonna stare all day.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back, Pivot Bar and Balcony. I need Jessica Quinnen. Is Jessica here somewhere? Jessica, if you're in here, I got a fever hat for you. If not, we will draw again. Jessica may have bailed, which is unfortunate because Jessica had a fever hat. Debbie Antonelli will choose another name. You can read it if you want to. Debbie, go ahead, right there in front of you.
Looks like it's Therese Manley.
Therese
Manley.
Therese Manley in the house? No? Anybody? Mel, one more time. We'll do it before we get back to some dialogue here on the show.
Harder?
Harder. Hard is like one name right there. Brazilian soccer player. Harder is right there. I think, Mel, here's what we're going to do. Just give me that one right there. I think, yeah. Chandra Garwood is right there. Chandra Garwood is going to be the winner. Mel, you set up Chandra right there with the fever hat. Courtesy of us. Alex Lamontes of Hurst and Lamontes is here as well. You having a blast, pal. Thank you so much
Having
for
a
the
wonderful
summertime.
time.
This is not the last one with us, is it?
No, we're doing another one on September 22nd.
Where are we going next?
I think we're coming right back here.
I love coming right back here.
What I'm hoping for is playoff spot, and maybe we can auction off some more stuff for the Fever Fund.
Good idea.
And hit our goal, man. We gave them $6,000 today, and the goal is $10,000 for the year. So, trying to make the world a little bit of a better place, right?
Hey, we have, are these gas cards still?
They are gas cards.
We have $50 gas cards here, and that works for anybody, whether you're from Idaho or Missouri or New Jersey or
Twin
right
Cities,
here in Indianapolis, right? How do you want to give these gas cards away? I have not thought about this.
I don't know. That's your job, John.
I know
You're in charge of that.
I failed miserably on this job. My
you
bad.
have like 20 people here supporting you, right?
I tell you what, hey, Mel, how do you want to give away gas cards right here? $50 gas cards. You want to give them away? I tell you, can you figure that out? And then I'll play right along with you right here. You tell me. You tell me.
This is the first time hearing about
Why, I know, because they were sitting right there because I forgot to tell you. No. It's exactly right. That's what sometimes happens. Oh, we can give them away. I'll tell you what. You keep them right here. I'll give those away before the end of the show right here. I got you. Thank you, Mel. Pat Boyle and Debbie Antonelli's got the broadcast later on tonight, Channel 13, correct? How many more do you have on 13?
We're on Ion tonight.
Oh, you're on Ion?
Yes.
Oh, my.
Yes.
Ion. Are you coming before or after Magnum PI?
Both. Yes.
I like it. Listen, you introduced me to Ion tonight. I appreciate that.
Ion is a great network for the league because people, I think, now are realizing it, but I don't think many people realized how ubiquitous it is. I mean, just about everybody has it. You have a cable network package or a YouTube TV, you've got Ion. So it's everywhere. It's just about everywhere.
Well, and this is what I'm hoping with that other team that you're a part of, too. I'm hoping I already have it because I don't want to have to go out and find it. I don't like finding it. I like having it.
You'll have to text Eddie White.
I'm trying right here.
You're right about that, though. Fans don't want to search. They want to know.
I don't want to search at all, and that's where a couple of things here, everybody's going to have to get better. It's going to have to be more universal. And not everybody's going to be the NFL where you can be all over the map and people are just going to seek you out. you have to be a little more inclusive. Let everybody in the club, so to speak, a little bit more easily.
I think it's more data-driven now. There's lots of ways that they collect data about who's watching and who attends, and then they try to, drill that down. And, the league has got, was it $3.3 billion media rights for the W? It's outstanding. It's terrific. There's so many networks covering now. It's a lot of fun.
Debbie, I was going to ask you, Stephanie White's message to the media prior to the Tuesday night game, what did that say to you?
I've had enough. I'm tired of the distraction. I'm disgusted by the narratives that are out there. If you go to the beginning of the season and you look at what were the storylines, it was the CBA, it was expansion, it was Caitlin playing 13 games and coming back. It was Asia Wilson winning 3 of the last 4 MVPs. Their team winning 3 of the last 4 titles. Asia winning 4 of the last 6 MVPs. There was all this conversation about basketball. And I think that's where we wanted to get back to, and I think we're headed that way. I've also said this. I have this on T-shirts. Yeah. The product is the narrative. That is why we have the multi-billion-dollar deal in the media rights, and we need to keep it to basketball. And we keep it to basketball, and we do a really good job of keeping our focus where it needs to be and highlighting the incredible stories. Like every single woman that's playing in the WNBA knew when they were a little girl that they could. Yeah. There's a lot of women in here that didn't have that opportunity, including me. And so let's look at it through that lens. They are living out their dream. And because they're making more money, yes, there's a little more pressure on it, but I think it's good because it's going to make them better. It's going to make our product better. It's going to make our media rights deal bigger. It's going to make more people want to follow. Why wouldn't we want to spend our time there? And I think Stephanie was saying, that's it. I've had enough. You're not going to divide us. We are connected. We are together. None of us knows what goes on in each respective locker room. That's the sanctity of your team, right? If you ever played on a team, you know what happens in the locker room. That's the stuff that builds the character and the overcoming of adversity of your team. And I think they've got that with the Fever, and I think that's why they're playing really well.
So the Tuesday crowd reaction was something, and it was remarked about after the game by Sophie and by Caitlin Clark. What do you think is going to be the crowd response tonight?
Overwhelmingly supportive, positive, and extremely loud. I wasn't in the building on Tuesday when that happened, but I do believe that it is shifting, and I do believe Stephanie is going to get a great round of applause.
Ultimately, just like the play and winning matters. That's how you're judged.
I mean, come on. Whose life gets affected by wins and losses outside of the people that are intimately involved?
Yeah.
Not fans, really. They shouldn't be. They should just... Do you remember when race, religion, sex, and politics wasn't even a part of our sports landscape? That we didn't even talk about that.
Well, I try really hard, but it's tough to navigate that the way things are today.
We went to sport to alleviate and get by all that in our daily lives. It was a place of well-being. Fitness.
Well, I sure as hell don't want to go to our political leaders around here and hear anything about sports, for God's sake. I mean, you can concentrate on other things. I just... you
got to have something more important to do.
I think now more than ever, it is so important to keep that focus, and I thought that it was incredibly important for Caitlin Clark to say what Caitlin Clark said immediately after the game, because had that been prior to the game, then that reaction would not have been the way the reaction was.
Caitlin doesn't move the needle. She is the needle.
Yeah, that's so true. That is so true.
What she says and how she's handled herself as a 24-year-old woman who all she ever did was work on her game and dream about having an opportunity to play. And here she is with all this other responsibility. I don't understand why she has to carry all of it. She needs to keep leading this team, keep doing what she's doing, and keep her MVP-like performance and first-team All-WNBA guard performance on track and keep this team moving in the right direction. And she has a lot to do with it.
Debbie Antonelli, Pat Boylan, you guys good for one more here before you bail?
Of course.
One more before you bail. Ion for them tonight. Alex Lamontes, you good for another one too?
Absolutely. Always.
We will come back. We had Joey Erickson of the Star, Field Yates of ESPN, Colts and Patriots 13-13 all last night. We discussed that a little bit earlier. Keep in mind, too, next week I'll be up at Drop Light at Westfield at Grand Park for one of the joint practices with the Falcons and the Colts. And then a week from tomorrow, 1 o'clock is that start. Falcons and the Colts preseason game number 2 right there. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Podcast with each of our guests, 1075thefan.com. Quick break. We'll come back. We are at Pivot Bar and Balcony right across the street from Gamebridge Fieldhouse with Dallas and the Fever coming up later on tonight. You got us right here with John Nolan, of course, and then obviously you got the Ion broadcast with Pat and Debbie. We'll come back with them for a final time. That is on the other side, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Hey, John here for the Best in Realty. I think I may have false started on that a bit right there. Did I not? The Best in Realty, Mark Dito Realty today. That is where you want to go to make sure that you get the best. And I know a lot of people out there obviously have different aspects in mind of what they need to do, what they want to do. Mark Dito is the best in the business to make sure you have what you need, what is necessary, whether you're downsizing or upgrading. Mark Dito Realty is the absolute best. That is markdito.com today. Mark Dito of Mark Dito Realty. And Mark Dito is the only real estate expert I trust and recommend with the sale of my home. Mark Dito can help you do what you need to do, too. Guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. It's Mark Dito Realty, the best right now, no matter what you need. 317-755-4232. MarkDito.com. MarkDieteo.com today. Big Red Liquors powers the JMV Takeover. Of course, that is coming up tomorrow night on B105.7, the All Request Saturday night, 6 until midnight, but also making sure you're covered this weekend with the absolute best. I mention the light beers all the time, but how about the craft beers? The best in that and the High Noon Hard Seltzer Double Shot Power. Great deals on the variety packs of High Noon Hard Seltzer. The Double Shot Power, part of the JMV Takeover every Saturday night, and Big Red Liquors powers the JMV Takeover, and 19 new locations here in and around Indianapolis. There's one near you. To find the red hot deals and more online, BigRedLiquors.com. Hey, Premier Weight Loss. 80 pounds later, I'm feeling great at PWLindy.com with my friend Thomas and Lauren Samantha. Keeping track. Goal-oriented is what we are with Premier Weight Loss. You can do the same thing right now, too. PWLindy.com. The north side of the Fishers location. If you want to get started on your very own weight loss journey today, that is the place. GLP-1 injections, you can do that, but you also need to do the work. You adjust your diet, you do the work alongside. You will see the results. If you're thinking about wanting to get back in shape, doing things you no longer can do, or just worried about your health, do something about it. PWLindy.com. That's Premier Weight Loss today. Also, if you're thinking about the cosmetic treatments, they have electronic toning, they have Botox, skin tightening, and more at Premier Weight Loss. The 2 Indy area locations. Tell them I sent you today. That's PWLindy.com.
The Ride with JMV.
Awesome! Totally awesome! All right, Hamilton.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
State Fair, 11 until 1 tomorrow. Free throw shooting contest. I'll see you there. You guys can sign up to see if you can beat me. Alex Lamonte's, Hurst and Lamonte, $6,000 today we gave away.
Absolutely. Thank you to you. Thank you to your community. Thanks to the JMV community for supporting us. And maybe I'll be there tomorrow. We're going to have a dunk contest. Can we do that?
Can you dunk?
No, hell no, I can't.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if we're going to have a dunk
6'4",
contest.
no.
But
you were talking about playing football, analogy between football and basketball. I play basketball like I play football.
Oh, yeah.
You know, elbows and a-holes, right? Just toss them around.
You're right down there, me.
We don't want any of that tonight.
I'm a little bit more fluid. All right, and it's Alex Lamonte's, Hurst and Lamonte's. We got another one coming up right here, too, in September. Pat and Debbie tonight on Ion. We got Dallas. We got the Fever. What are we thinking about?
Thinking about a lot of fun. It's going to be an up and down, high pace, a lot of shot makers in the building, and I think Indiana is playing their best basketball, so I expect them to put up about 115 to 120.
These two teams have the last 4 number 1 overall picks in the draft. Unfortunately, one of them, AZ Fudd, not available, but a ton of young talent here on the floor tonight.
Well, I can't wait to watch you guys do what you do. It's awesome to meet you.
It's great to meet you. Thanks for doing this. This is fun. Thank you, Alex.
Come back anytime you want to, and you're going to be on the road coming up tomorrow, right?
I'm going to be on the road. I live on the road.
You live on the road. Debbie Antonelli, Pat Bull, and Ion, I should say, coming up later on tonight. Thank you, Alex, too. Alex Lamonte's, Hurst Lamonte's. Dev, thank you very much. Caleb back in the studio. All of our guests today. Colts Happy Hour is next. Tomorrow, 11 till 1, State Fair, free throw shooting contest. I'm going to go out there and give away some gas cards right now. Caleb, great job out of you, too. 93.5, 107.5, The Fan. Enjoy the Fever later on tonight.